Dabblepoint, a Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Welcome to Point Dabblepoint, a weekly discussion where we get caught up on This Week in Stuttering John, get people thrown in prison for phone calls, and exaggerate how good we are at guitar. I'm Carl Hamburger from Who Are These Podcasts, and with me this week from the BS Show, please welcome Anthony Zenhauser is here. What's up, Anthony?
What's going on? I'm right here.
There you are.
Right
You're
here.
over there. He's over
I
here
was
now.
in the back. I was smoking a cigarette, and I was like, "Oh,
He's over here. Also with us from All Apologies and Who Are These Podcasts, it's Andy Q Public. Skol! Skol! Also with us today, making his debut of Point Dabblepoint from the Drew Lane Show, it's my buddy Drew Lane. What's happening, Drew?
Carl, nice job on the name. And I want to mention, I just noticed the finger with the thing coming out in the bottom finger on Point Dabblepoint. Very clever.
You know who created that is one Vinnie Paulino.
Is that right?
Graphics for this, yes. These stinky, crooked fingers.
What was the music coming in, by the way, that first song?
That would be a question for producer Joe. He's the one who put that together.
Okay.
I'll get to the bottom of all of your questions, Drew.
Thank you.
I thought of that theme song during a gay fever dream."
Oh, there's our answer right there. Now we know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk a lot about what Stuttering John's been up to this week. Yesterday, he did a marathon show, over 3 hours he was on for. He's been doing these long shows where he's talking about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, it could have been an hour and a half if you cut out the time he repeated himself. But I watched it in 2X, and it was taking all fucking day.
Yeah, it always takes all day. But there are just these things that happen that are gems, and I've decided I'm going to change it up this week on Point Dabblepoint. Point Dabblepoint is always a roundtable discussion. We don't react to clips on this show until today.
Good, yeah.
Because I have a lot of clips that I want to get to. There's just been a lot of John content, John tent, over the past couple of days that we haven't been able to address yet on WATP. And so I want to start off. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is from yesterday's program. But John always likes to, whenever he fucks up, he likes to, everyone's going to do an emergency episode now.
Yeah.
because I messed up. So he likes to pretend that he's kind of doing this on purpose. This is him drooling and burping.
Would that kill you, Kevin? Oh, I dribbled. Emergency episode. I burped.
So proud of himself. I like that he acts like that's part of the show. He's like, no, I like to drool and dribble and burp. That's part of my show now. It's good stuff.
And devour a Slim Jim while staring
intensely
into the camera.
Listen, I know what you're thinking. Can we please see him drool in slow-mo? Don't worry, I have it. I have it for us right here. That's not a normal drool. That came from, typically when you drool, it comes from your bottom lip.
Yeah.
That one came from above, like in front of his tooth or something. Let's watch that again. I want to analyze this. Wow.
Whoa.
How does that happen?
Kind of resembles something else, too. I don't want to say, but
You think maybe he was having a good time
a little boil
before this?
He's inventing new ways to drool on himself.
That's impressive right there. Now, the other thing about John, you'll notice, is that when he does drool and things fly out of his face, and there were a couple examples I didn't even pull because it happens so often. Never once does he grab a Kleenex or a paper towel. He's never concerned about cleaning it up. Never watched him react like, oh shit, I got to get that off of here.
The Lisa Guerrero, when he was interviewing Lisa Guerrero, I've never seen anyone wipe their nose more furiously. I don't know what was going on there, but wow.
Yeah, Drew actually messaged me about it because that was one of the episodes that John took down after he did it. Drew sent me a note. He's like, does anyone have this episode? He is going at his nose the entire time.
Oh, it was amazing. And I predict that she will not go out for the drink John invited her out for.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
There's a strong possibility that he never does cash in on that.
At one point, he pulled out a chicken bone that was just laying on the side of the couch.
He's
just
disgusting.
Like, hey, look, I don't even clean up after myself.
It's crazy because he's not getting laid. He talks about that. he wants to get a job in show business again.
Yeah.
He's going about it the wrong way. Everyone who's watching this stuff is going, there's no way I would sleep with this guy or hire him to work for me.
No,
So he drools and burps, and then just a few minutes later, he has a sneezing fit, and this is gross.
Hold on.
It's like a child.
God, he got both of those.
Please tell me you have slow-mo.
I got it in slow-mo, Drew. Don't you worry. Let's watch this. Wow. That second one is nuts. Like it didn't want to leave his mouth. Right there. It's
Carl,
like, no.
This is right after he declared he had a perfect heart. He was that man you're looking at was bragging about his health.
Yes. So John had a stress test this week, and he came back and very Trump-esque says, turns out I have a perfect heart. The best heart the Dodgers ever seen. And he even said at one point, I didn't pull this because there's just too much to pull, but Drew, maybe you heard him say this. He goes, now that I know that my heart's perfect, I no longer have to go on walks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Has a doctor ever said to you, like, you're in pretty good shape, stop exercising. You don't need it.
He also
You got this.
the reason his heart is perfect is because he's not a racist or a homophobe or a transphobe, unlike Pocky. So
Yes.
Anthony, God punishes people with health consequences for being these things.
You didn't know that?
I guess not.
Okay. Well,
Say, John, are you walking? Because your heart is way more than perfect. I think you should just stop walking altogether because you're doing way too much for that perfect heart.
it's too good,
Yeah,
actually.
you lived at 200, John. Knock it off.
Who is he fooling? Like, why would he have to have a stress test in the first place if his heart is perfect? And also, doctors don't talk like that. I've never heard a doctor say anything was perfect.
Yeah.
No.
You know, it wouldn't be good just for malpractice issues. You know, if he dies of a heart attack next week, it's like, shit, I should not have written down perfect. Damn it. Someone's going to be pissed.
Well, is this the same doctor that wants to break his finger in order to fix it?
That's a good question. Is that what cardiologists do?
Yeah. I went to Dr. Feelgood. He said I'm perfect.
Yeah, the finger thing is crazy.
Well, listen,
Because-
between the snot and the saliva, if he doesn't get back in the show business, I think he's only a few permits away from becoming his own water park. So you should really consider that.
Be cleaner than a lot of the water parks that I've gone to in the past. All right, so I want to play the what I'm calling lead guitar gate. That's what I really want to get into today, because John is claiming he's a much better guitarist than I am, even though he's never heard me play guitar, and I'll play that he openly pretty much admits that. But I don't think that he plays guitar on his album. He claims all the guitars were played by him on his debut album, and I don't think that's true. But before I get into that, because you brought up that having a perfect heart is because he's not racist, there's an interesting person who's been chatting in John's show lately. And we're going to get to that. Starting off, though, this is John explaining that he does more research than I do, which is bonkers.
Come on.
It's the craziest thing you could say, because he says he does way more research than me. Then he starts playing a clip in the wrong place. He starts playing the clip at the wrong timestamp and doesn't realize it for a while. So I kind of fast forward through that. You'll see this. It's Vince the lawyer saying bitches be crazy. It has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
But what's crazy is that John's explaining he does more research than me while playing a clip that was researched by someone else. He's not even playing the Point Dabblepoint episode. He's playing Vince playing the Point Dabblepoint episode that he wants to react to. So he's not making a good case for himself here.
This is Lady K now, and saying that I don't do any research. Well, first of all, Lady K, I do way more research than you. And again, you're now going to project things that is so fucking ridiculous that I have to laugh at you.
Hey, did you actually slow down Vince's voice on this?
Yeah. I want you to be able to understand it. So I slowed it down a little bit for us. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. And
He's talking about when I went through my DMs and I accidentally showed some. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
So he played all of that. Vince going off on something completely unrelated, and then he plays me just going, oops. And he's like, you know what he's talking about right there? I pulled up my DMs live on his screen so we could see who he was messaging with on Twitter. And then not 2 minutes later, he does it again.
Wow. Look what we're going to find. Okay. Oh, shit. Show it again. How can I fucking do this?
Captain Research over here.
God.
It's killing it.
Carl, do you have any idea how long it took him to get into the 90-second clip of Alisa Jordana?
I believe it was 9 minutes.
24 minutes.
Wow.
90-second clip, and he's going, "Where is it? Where is it? I was here."
Oh, so I have another example of him trying to play a clip and just having the wrong one. This is what's so amazing about John Melendez is he can sit there and say that he's good at this and that he does his research, and he's prepared, and then prove that that's not the case immediately afterwards.
When you have a kid going through it, just mad because the tweet pissed him off. It wasn't from me. It wasn't from. It was from Muttering Jay, your friend, your pal, the guy you thank publicly. That's who it's from.
This guy, but no, that's not the clip I want. Fuck! I'm trying to find. Does anybody? It's the one where
Pretend I never heard you yell. Grab the.
it could be.
This guy is a complete disaster because he's going to Shuli's Anonymous.
Yeah.
So he didn't even pull the clip. Someone else did. They put it on the website, and he can't even just fucking copy a URL down before the show starts and then paste it in to play the video he wants to play. He's just hoping he finds it.
I like I said, I was watching it at 2x, and I was kind of doing something. I was like editing something over on my other monitor, and he was taking so long to find it that I thought the feed froze.
Right.
Because he's just sitting there in silence for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he never even found it. I think maybe it was like that. But it was just to reset the Bob Levy child support thing that he already brought up twice.
Well, then he tries to find the clip again, and he gets the wrong clip.
You got this. Nope, that's not it either. I don't know what the fuck it is. Because Silent Mike makes that dumb comment about, John, you're not going to find any fucking divorce payments. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. I mean, but it was something where Silent Mike goes, well, John, you're not going to find any fucking,
He's unbelievable. He thinks he has the best show in the Dabbleverse. And he sits there looking through a subreddit and playing videos that are either A, make him look bad.
Yeah.
Because he was playing the video of Shuey saying that, yeah, John, it's kind of weird that you're praising Muttering Jay when he said so many things about your trans kid. He's the one who got you fired from your job. Like, you would think that that'd be embarrassing. And John's like, oh, that's not the one. Whoops. Do you remember it?
He pisses away so much time because he's unprepared. He brags constantly about working for Howard and Jay, who never pissed away even a minute of their show. They always knew where they were going. He has no idea. And then, after the Lisa Guerrero interview, which was horrible, by the way, she's almost as bad as John about bragging about her credits. Wiping really, I would say, carried the day on that interview. The interview ends, and John is angry because his Grubhub order was intercepted. And so he spends about 10 minutes trying to reorder it, get his money back.
Oh, yeah.
Look, that is not content.
Yeah, he was livid that his beer never showed up.
But isn't that what we've always told Johnny should be doing? Like the IRL streaming, the Alisa Jordana, like to try to teach him how to do that. Like I could watch, if I knew that John's show was him trying to get his Grubhub order figured out, I'd watch that.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
Or him fighting with a Republican at Pickwick,
Oh my God, that'd be incredible of trying to defend Joe Biden to someone.
But I thought he said I never discuss politics or religion at a bar. That's one of the rules.
He has. He definitely has. He's talked about it.
I liked at the beginning of the show, he gave himself a new nickname. Did you catch that one?
No.
Johnny Skill Set.
Shut the fuck up. No.
He was trying to say, for years he's been saying, oh, Howard never paid me enough. I was always underpaid and underappreciated. And he starts off the stream by saying, oh, I had all these side hustles going on and I was making like $6,000 a week. Old Johnny's skill set was raking it in. It was like, since when?
Yeah.
Since when have you rewritten history that now you were cleaning up at the Stern Show?
Well, no, he never made money from Stern, but he did have all those side gigs where he ripped off all the comics that he would bring around to the Stuttering John and Friends shows.
Well, I think Andy's talking about too. He was bragging about, I was working the show Last Call on CBS for Brandon Tartikoff, and I made $5,000 an episode. Take that, shit, Ware. 12 episodes. A show that lasted 1 year. Brandon Tartikoff's been dead 27 years. Do you think anyone else is bragging about Last Call right now? No.
I'd never even heard of it. I don't even know what that is.
Neither. It's a new credit to me.
Yeah. Did he make that one up? Because one of the things that John's been doing lately is talking about accomplishments as they relate to people who are dead and can't refute them. So like the centerfold that he slept with has been dead for 25 years.
Oh, yeah. And he was already dancing on OJ's grave.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the same move, Drew, where he made up a TV show that doesn't even exist.
There's another. He said there were two other centerfolds, one of whom he won't reveal also that he slept with.
That doesn't make any sense. He talks about his ex-girlfriends. He gives first and last names, and he brags about them taking anal and him finishing in their mouths. It's like, this is shit that nobody else does. These are real people from your life. Why would you do this? And he's like, but I can't tell you who the centerfold was. Why, is she still alive?
Yeah.
Who could that be that's so famous? I mean, really? I guess it would be horribly embarrassing for them.
Yes.
That he's claiming he slept with them, so maybe he's sparing them.
Okay, so going back to skill set Johnny's
skill set.
That's great. I hope that sticks.
Well, going back on that, you can also say that, when he wasn't scamming comics out of their money, he was also, if you remember, he got caught wheeling and dealing a lot with people who were trying to be chancers, calling into the show, stockbrokers and things like that, trying to get insider trading ideas. So he got caught a couple of times, but can you imagine all the stuff that he was probably doing that he didn't get caught with, because he was really running the phones. So.
Yeah, he was taking advantage of Howard's listeners. And so he was doing, and Howard reprimanded him multiple times for this. We're just like, wait, you went to the Yankees game and sat in the box? How'd you get those tickets? Oh, my buddy got them for me. Who's your buddy?
My friend.
Yeah, my friend. It's like, how did you meet him? He calls into the show.
Oh, yeah.
He called That's not your friend, John.
He called
That's my listener.
He was offering them to you, but I took it. Yeah,
right.
I'm sure he was doing
that happened
that all
the fucking time with this guy. But he never learned his lesson either. He still, to this day, thinks that those are friends. Oh, that's another thing he was really upset about this week. I mentioned at Dabblepoint, I think he's kind of a lonely guy who doesn't have friends. Mm-hmm. And so he listed all of his friends. Remind me to play that clip because that's insane. But first, going back to Johnny's skill set, John is explaining that, okay, maybe Carl has technical skills and can run a show, which, by the way, there's not a lot of evidence of that. If anyone saw us live in New York, I've definitely had my issues with tech. But John says, okay, Carl's got the technical skills, but he's the talent. So he explains, okay, I don't know how to run this shit, but I'm the talented one. And watch how he stammers as he's saying that.
It's completely it has 100% talent oriented, not technical skills. Leave the technical skills for Lady K. Meanwhile, the talent who is vacant. There's a vacancy of talent when it comes to Lady K. Nick Fuentes, thanks for the $5.
All right. First off, Drew, you've had a long career on the radio. Is there any way that this guy is getting hired at a radio station with this?
Fuck no. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with talent having tech skills. That's a bonus.
Right. That's very true. I just love that when it's time to shine and he has to prove that he's better at hosting a show than I am, that's when he gets fumbled and I mean, you might say that, but I have I made my case.
No, Carl, he does stuff like, and I told you about this a couple weeks ago. The show started and he's on screen for like 3 seconds, and then he looks at his hair and he leaves the screen for about 1 minute and 20 seconds to fix his hair at the beginning of the show.
No, I want to point out he's using StreamYard, so are we. Everyone's familiar with StreamYard. We all, the four of us, had a conversation before the show started. And we could all center each other ourselves and get our mics right and everything like that. John has never done that one time. He never has his pillow behind him before the show starts. He's never centered on camera. He hits go live, and then he's like, oh, shit. I got to fix my hair. I got to do all this stuff.
Take my pills.
It's true. Everybody in that booth, including Howard, worked the board. He knew how to work the board. He was an engineer before he even became a DJ. You have to be able how to handle the equipment.
Yeah.
He was there for 15 years, 20 years. He never learned a fucking thing behind the board. Like, he could have been like, hey, Fred, can I, watch you? Can I learn some stuff? Learn some stuff from Howard.
Oh, Zen, when he worked for Stephanie Miller, so she hired him because, hey, this is a radio guy. I need a radio guy. And Stephanie gave him multiple jobs to do, and he failed at all of them. But one of them was running the board. And Stephanie Miller got him off of that immediately because he couldn't do it. And he's like, well, it was very complex. Wasn't John?
What's wrong? What's wrong with hiring a producer too? Wouldn't you think for the kind of show that he wants to put on, being this guy with this giant platform, being a former Stern and Leno guy, wouldn't you think you'd want to have a pool of talent within the show?
Yes,
of course.
Of course you would.
There's nothing to be proud of doing it all yourself and doing it so badly. And he brags about all the time. I don't need any help. I can do it all myself. No, he can't. He's horrible.
He loves not having guests too. He thinks he can run a show by himself. He just repeats himself over and over again and stammers and snots.
Did you hear the breaking news? He said, and I quote, "Trust me, I'm working on getting some really, really good guests. I know I've said that in the past, but now that the writer's strike is over, I'll be getting some great guests."
I actually have that exact clip, Drew, since you brought it up.
Sorry.
No, it's great. Here it is.
I'll get good. Trust me, I'm working on some really good guests. I know I said that in the past, but that was during the fucking actors' strike. Now, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Look at his hand. Why does his hand go up when he drinks like that? His other hand. What is that?
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, I don't think it's perfect.
I think it's a symptom. I think it's a symptom of a perfect heart.
No, if I'm the doctor, I'm like, there's something not perfect about this.
It's like with the zombies from Michael Jackson's Thriller, dude.
He's doing the Thriller dance. He also does this weird thing where he has his hand up and it's all gnarled like this, and he'll just hold it there for an entire show for some reason. I don't know. If he's showing
he did have a stroke.
He's had a couple strokes. That is true. That's a good point.
Yeah, so that could be from the strokes.
Wait a second. He's had 2 strokes and now he has a perfect heart.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I think about it. Okay, so you notice on the clip before that one, Nick Fuentes gave him a super chat. John hosted a political show for years and somehow has no idea who Nick Fuentes is. This is how bad he is at his job. Later on, he gets another super chat. Watch this.
Nick Fuentes. Thanks for the fiber. These people are like ticks. Instead of sucking your blood, they suck on your fame and success. Good luck with the finger, brother. Thank you very much. It's true.
He's applauding Nick Fuentes. I think he's trying to get a job on Compound. I think is what John's trying to do right here. And then at the end, so that was on Wednesday. At the end of Thursday's show, he sees this. This is a great response.
Diz 5. You should have Nick Fuentes on. He's a big YouTuber. YouTuber. Yeah, I have to start going to the youngins because they're the ones that happen. I mean, even my son told me, Dad, you should start getting these guys on.
Wait, his son's a big fan of Nick Fuentes? That's interesting. I was unaware of that. That sounds a little crazy, but
he's like the Goebbels of our generation. You got to get him on this show.
No, if he would say I want to have him on to debate or something like that, but he has no idea.
He doesn't know
how
who
the
it
fuck
is.
do you run a political show and not know who these people are? It's crazy. I'm pretty sure that Hell Sparks would know.
Yeah.
Let's hit some super chats real quick. And I looked up to you $2. Drew Blows.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. John's Cat Xavier $2 says Drew from Drew and Mike, who I don't know.
Yeah.
A great drop from Drew's show. Bully 202. I heard Carl saying VTL is a spectrum disorder. You've heard me say that a lot of times because I read your super chats. Rick U 3220 $10. Carl, I was going to see the Topes play live, but John said he was a better guitarist, so I'm just going to go see his band instead. Whenever he gets around to having a show. John, he said the other day, he's like, I'm going to start doing stand-up again, and I'll sell tickets, unlike these other guys who are doing stand-up shows. and can't sell tickets. But then he also said, and I'll be honest with you, if I don't sell tickets, I'll just tell you guys, yeah, I didn't sell a lot of tickets. I think, no, you won't.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that happening. That would be crazy.
You'll blame Vinny or something.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he did have a stand-up gig that he canceled. Yeah. He could have done it. Wild Bill Fatcock, $2. I saved up a full batch for Drew's PDP debut. Oh, you must be thrilled about that, Drew.
Thank you, Wild Bill Fatcock.
Oh, speaking of Vinny.
Flip
We
that.
had Dang Lizard is Vinny in full makeup, €2. So PDP is another Eclipse show now. Well, today it is, buddy. Today it's another Eclipse show. Grandma Zaccardi, $2. Oh my God, this panel, so me. I love they nerd cock. All right.
I love the nerd cock.
Galaxy, $2. Drew is looking hot. No Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the new no homo? No Diddy?
Yeah. Yes. I like that.
That's hilarious.
DJ Burns, who's the star of the NC State basketball team that got to the Final Four, he actually used No Diddy in a press conference.
Holy shit, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
We did a creep off bonus show today, Vinny, Paulino, and I, and we went through all the Diddy stuff. And Vinny found some stuff I didn't realize. You know, obviously he was having those weird sex orgies with his girlfriend who's smoking hot. I'm sorry?
The freakouts, he called them.
Yeah, the freakouts with Cassie. Is that her name?
Oh, okay.
And he would have her hire large penised black men for the freakout so he could watch and beat off.
Yeah, he would watch him
Redundant.
beat off to these sex workers bang his girlfriend.
Sorry.
And so that came up in a lawsuit that he paid off immediately. But I didn't realize the guy who shot up Trump's place back in 2018 he was being questioned by the police. And he said that he was one of those guys that Diddy hired. And he was like a sex slave for Diddy.
Whoa.
And everyone was just like, well, this guy's crazy. But it turns out like this all came out now. It's all legit.
It's all true.
Insane.
Well, there's also a woman who was on Twitter who got a $1.8 million settlement. Remember the New York club thing when the club got shot up? It was J-Lo.
Yep.
She says that she was paid $1.8 million by Diddy because he shot her in the face. And two other people were also shot by Diddy, but that's never really been out there. She said I think she said she had an NDA, so she couldn't speak of it, but I never heard that.
Well, also, I think that one of his bodyguards took the fall for it. I think someone was arrested for the
Fine.
shooting, and it wasn't Diddy.
A rapper named Shine went to prison for 9 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, this guy.
Yeah, he's something
I
else.
can't wait for these docs to come out. I'm watching all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 cents will be the best.
Oh, for
Justin
sure.
Bieber had an ND in his A. Am I right?
We were watching some of those videos too. When Justin Bieber was 15, and Diddy's like, yeah, I got custody of him for the next 48 hours. We're going to have some fun, right? And Justin's just like, yeah. Yes, Mr. Combs. It's really weird.
Bieber got passed around like a bag of Chips Ahoy, dude. Not good.
Lamborghini. And you can have the house next year.
Yeah. Granny Beggar, $2. Hey, Grandma Zaccardi, you and me should hook up. Oh, look at this. Love is happening in the chat today. AO1012, $2. This is like OJ talking about hospice. Yeah.
Why?
Did you see that?
because
Like
he
one of
got
his
cancer.
last tweets, right before the Super Bowl, he's just like, hospice? He was doing that. We talking about hospice? He's
I
very
did
funny.
it. I
He was
did
the
it.
best. He was the best on Twitter. 7 large Army, $5. Carla, if you go past 6, please keep it down for Zen's neighbors. Thanks in
True.
advance.
Yeah, my neighbor's upstairs. You better be quiet.
Fair enough. Barnes and Noobs, $20 says, last night, SJ referred to his show as what he does for a living. This is the same pompous ass who also said multiple times in the past, look, I don't have to do this. I'll leave. So which one is it, John? Yes, that's a great question, Barnes and Noobs. And I have the clip too, where he talks about how he's an entertainer.
Oh,
He's like, this is what I went to school for. This is what I've done all my life. I'm an entertainer. It's amazing. Daytois, $5 says, Drew blows. You will always be my fave. Keep it stiff. Bye-bye, son of a bitch.
thank you, Daytois.
Yeah, keep it stiff. The rounder, $2. This is for Carl and Vinny commissary fund. Oh, I know. We're going to prison. Well, that was the big news until lead guitar gates, but I don't know. I think we're still going to prison. What do you think about that, Drew? You think that I'll be locked up for having a phone call to Stevie Tomatoes?
I don't know. That's really interesting. John, all he's really done is caused irreparable pains in the asses of the people at Stevie Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because they're getting hammered on the phone. They're getting horrible reviews. He acts like he's trying to, he's such a fucking tattletale. Oh, look at somebody graffitied in here. And then he tells them, and then they're going to do something about it. And then of course we find out that's all fake when when somebody called down there.
Yep.
And then it's a one party state. So you're in big trouble. It's a felony. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Does Stevie Tomatoes really want to get involved in that?
Punishable for 5 years in prison and then up to $5,000 fine. And when John saw that, he was salivating. He's like, oh yeah.
But is anyone at that club or that bar, are they really truly upset about the one party call that was made? They want to go to court over it? I don't think so.
No, they don't give a fuck. It was a Monday afternoon at like 2 p.m. We just said, hey, are you going to give Carl a bill for the graffiti? She's like, there is no graffiti. Stop calling. That was it.
I like that people were fucking with him in the super chat about the people that the delivery people that Vince was sending to his house. Somebody was just like, oh, those people are on your stream. Did you get permission from them for being recorded on your show?
Yeah.
He's like, it's fine. This is how I make a living.
Yeah, I actually have that clip too. Now that you mentioned it, let me play that real quick since you brought it up, because everything, John always has an excuse for why the things that he complains other people do, he does too, but he does it the right way for some reason.
It's illegal to record delivery drivers in two parties. All right, well then fucking arrest me. I am doing what I do for a living. They don't have an argument.
What?
Does he not realize that the creep off is also what we do for a living?
Yeah.
I like that he goes, but I'm just doing my job when I do it. Like, well, no, it's the exact same thing. John, you idiot.
Did you
talking about your vanity project, the creep off? Come on.
Yeah. There was a part where he was calling out Kevin for having Stevie Lou back on.
Yeah.
And he said, Stevie's just trying to get a computer out of you.
Yeah.
This is the same fucking guy that begged for a laptop from an old lady.
Yep.
And then
Heather
begged,
W.
Yeah. And then begged people like Patreon members to set him up with a phone line so that he could do a call-in show.
Yep.
That never fucking happened.
Never happened.
And then he stiffed all those Patreon members when he rage quit his show 2 years ago. But he's going to call out Stevie Lou for...
Well, he's an idiot because...
I don't even think that's even what Stevie Lou was angling. Well, I don't know. But
I don't know.
Wait, did he raise money for his incredible trip to DC to do his Stuttering John bits?
He did that for 9 months or something like that. He's like, donate so I can make a trip to DC.
Yeah. Well, at least he actually went to DC eventually. This phone line is still never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. But what's crazy is that now John's mad at Kevin for having Stevie Lou because Adam Hineker left. So KB's producer, Adam Hineker, who John used to call Thin Skinnaker Hineker, and say what an asshole he was. And now John goes, everybody loved Adam Hineker. KB, you're blowing it. How could you get... So I don't know how anyone could take John seriously at anything that he says. He just says the opposite a week later.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's one of John's better nicknames. What is his best nickname? Because he does have quite a few.
That's a good question. What's his best nickname?
Can't Stomach the Zummock isn't bad.
Oh, it's terrible. His name's not even Zummock. It's Zumak.
It's so stupid.
Terrible.
Yeah. What do we got? Fatty Patty.
Fatty Patty's not very good.
Not great.
No. I'm Lady Kmart, which makes zero sense.
Moonhead is maybe the worst.
Moonhead's so
It
stupid.
doesn't make any sense. Shitware is maybe the best one.
What's
He
your
didn't even come
nickname,
up
Zen?
with that.
That's true.
Log Cabin Larry.
Log
to
Cabin
him.
Larry. That's not bad.
Right. Log Cabin Larry. Then there's Silent Mike. There's Barbara.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then and he calls Kevin something. He calls him the something tomato. I don't remember what he calls him, but that's,
I love when he gets
Pinky.
mad.
He calls him Pinky. That's what he calls him.
Pinky. Yep.
When he gets mad at Shuley, and he'll be like, $6,000 an episode, shitware.
Now he calls him Shuley, son of Noga.
One of the problems with John's nickname calling, and Trump has taught us all how to do this. You pick one and you stick with it. That's how it sticks. That's how Crooked Hillary sticks. It's not even that good a nickname, but he just said it so many times. You're like, oh, it's Crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
But with me, it's Carla, it's Lady K, it's Lady Kmart, it's Dues Payer, and Shitwayer. It's like, there's too many nicknames for these people. He's got to focus on one. make that happen. That's my free advice for the day. Jacob Ryan asked $2. Carl, are you going to steal any more bits from Vince? Oh, you're talking about the, I've been breaking down John's narcissism lately. And I think I'm onto something. I think I figured out what his personality disorder actually is that leads him to act the way that he does. Because we all watch John. I've been watching John for years. 2018, I think, was the first time we reviewed his show. And I went, oh, this is like a dumb, crazy person. And that's not really a great diagnosis of what the actual issue is there. So now I think I'm starting to hone in on it a little bit better.
Well, we were talking about it on Wednesday. I didn't want to blow the bit because I thought this guy was just making a video about John, and it was a
Dr.
troll. It was like
Dr. Todd Grande.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of like a troll, but
no,
that he's describing John to a T.
It was impressive.
Everything he's saying is.
When he's talking about revenge fantasies and all the shit that John does, it's so childish. But what is it called? Vindictive narcissism?
Yeah.
It tells on people all the time. I mean, it's so lame, and calls the cops all the time, threatens to sue all the time.
Yeah. And someone asked him, like, what do you think that your biker gang buddies are going to think about you being a rat? He's like, oh, they'd love it. No, they definitely frown upon that sort of behavior, John.
How many times has he called the cops? Because he called the Rochester police once. Why was that?
So he said he called the Rochester police. Now I have friends in the RPD, and I asked, and there was no record of it. But he claims he called the RPD, and it happened before I got my one-on-one with John. So I asked him, I go, why would you call the cops on me? And he goes, because you were talking about my kids. John thinks everything is illegal for some reason. You called Stevie Tomatoes, and then you were talking about my kids. You're going to prison. That's not how any of this works.
That makes as much sense as telling the Atlantic City security people that he's trashing my kids.
That guy right there is trashing my kids. So is that guy right there. Kick him out.
Where are your kids? They're not here. But he's trashing them.
They're not even kids. They're actually all adults.
Yeah.
But I can swear he's called the cops more than that one time, hasn't he? Called the cops on people?
Yeah, well, he threatened to call the cops on Alisa Jordana because he invited her over to his house, and then she showed up.
That's
the one
right.
thing he should have done.
That was
should have done that one.
The only real right move.
But no, he's definitely called the police. Oh, the other one was Chad Zumock. So Chad tweeted that he was driving to John's house to whatever, trash it or something like that. And John got very upset. He called the Tampa Police Department, the Cape Coral Police Department, and the FBI.
The FBI.
Oh my
The
God.
FBI got involved. They're like, well, we're going to Diddy's house, but we can swing by on the way back if you want. Meredith Halfpenny says, Drew blows, Belfour blows, dance a ball. Dance a ball?
Yeah, dance a ball. That's a long story.
Bob's Fake Fool, $2. I vote Penis Wrinkle Dabbleverse Super Chatter of the Year. Oh, yeah. The second annual Dabby Awards coming up. And that was an interesting revelation this week that Penis Wrinkle is John's old board op. This guy, Patrick. I don't know if that's true or not, but John said, he goes, I know who you are. You're Patrick, my board op from when I had the afternoon show on K-Rock. And it's like, so this person who harasses you every day knows you in real life? That's not the fucks you think it is, John. It's one thing to just be like a troll on the internet and a keyboard warrior. It's another thing if you're like, oh no, I had to work with this asshole and now I want to get my revenge.
Yeah, I hate him so much. I'm going to fuck with him on a regular basis.
Hey, was John actually afternoon drive on K-Rock? I thought he was on after Howard.
No, it was after Howard. It was like noon to 1.
Okay. And I remember that one episode where Howard is saying, or I think they're telling him the show sucks because he's not playing music. Because honestly, when you have a rock station, when you have a show that talks all morning, you want wall-to-wall music afterwards. And I guess John was mostly talking and they didn't want him to do it. And he just wouldn't listen to him.
Well, what John started doing, which pissed everyone off, is he would record everything before the show. Like during the Howard Stern show, John would record all of his breaks and he'd even take fake callers and requests and stuff like that. And then he'd hand that in and be home before his show even started.
What?
He wasn't even live in studio for it.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. I mean, somebody who's allegedly young and hungry at that time to not be, that's so stupid.
He was given every opportunity. And then,
but he's also doing it while he's supposed to be doing his real job.
Right.
He's doing his other job.
Yeah, when he's not in the shitter during the Howard Stern show, he's recording things for his afternoon show that he's not doing live.
He's
and
time
it's
managing.
fake. But you're right, though, Drew. We've talked about this before, where John loves to complain about what he was paid by K-Rock, and he did all this work, and they underpaid me. And he went on Adam Carolla in 2008 to bitch about it, which burned every bridge, which made no sense, didn't help him in any single way. But he was given so many opportunities, and he just proved to be lazy.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity, because with all the publicity you got from the Howard show, to have a shift later in the day, you can make a lot of money on a New York station doing that. But he just fucking blew it doing these stupid bits.
Well, also, Drew, you and I have had conversations about how you grew up in radio. And I think most people who are successful have to move market to market. You don't just get hired by a station and then work your way up to $1 million a year. It's not how that works. So you get a job, and okay, I have the afternoon shift, but I'm going to put together a demo from this and I'm going to shop it around. And if John really wanted to have a career in radio, he would have left the Howard Stern show. He would have left K-Rock. He would have gone to a mid-sized market. They know his name. He has examples of him performing well on the radio, and he could build up something from that. He never thought that way.
Yeah, he could have been like the second guy on a show in Boston, or go to Houston and have his own show, or go to a medium market and build his own show, which he could never do because he can't lead a show. He's not a delegator at all. But yeah, that's to go from intern to, multi-$100,000 a year job, which is what he thought he should get, is insane. Right. Nobody goes from intern to making $1 million on their first station.
No, because they know what your value is. It's zero. So when they say, all right, we'll give you 10 grand a year, the station's thinking like, we're giving some charity to this asshole. He's not worth 10 grand. He's worth zero.
I got to tell you, I cannot imagine too, like 30 years later, talking about my first job on the radio every fucking day. That is so bizarre.
It's crazy.
Doing it today, with that last call with Brandon Todikoff, $5,000 an episode. Shit, where? I'm just like, what are you talking about? I mean, live in the here and now once in a while.
Well, also, and I've told this to John to his face, it's actually more embarrassing what he's accomplished in life because of where he is now. Yeah. So if anything, I would ignore my past, because he used to live in a mansion with his family and his beautiful wife, and now he's in a 500 square foot apartment in the valley.
Well, yeah, who making $60,000 in 1994 when you don't have that money now and you don't have much money? That's insane. And he's like really talking shit to Shuley. I don't know. It's so bizarre to me that he lives off these credits, because he should have a giant platform. He should be murdering you, Shuley, all these shows. And some of these other Dabbleverse shows are doing pretty well too. I see him getting super chats and they're getting views. And here he has these giant credits and he's getting beat by all these shows. Of course, he won't admit that, but he is.
Well, the funniest was, John's not funny very often, but back when Howard was negotiating his contract and there was a lot of speculation, this is going back to like 2016, maybe 2017. There was speculation that Howard was going to leave Sirius. And I remember John saying they should just hire me to take Howard's spot. Who would be better than that? I'll keep the whole gang there of Gary and Fred and Robin, and I'll just be the host of the show.
Around. Sure.
But this is the delusions of grandeur of Stuttering John, thinking that he could go from being an intern and a call screener to the host of the biggest show on the radio. Who's more prepared for this than me? Do you need the list? Do I want me to write it down? There's a lot of radio guys would be better at that than you, John.
And how magnanimous of him to keep everyone else. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Can't even just show up to work on time. It's
almost like when he said, if I ever won $100 million, I'd give $5 million to my ex-wife. What a guy, John. You're amazing. Speaking of his delusional brain, and this goes back to this narcissistic personality disorder that John has.
If I get a fucking sitcom, then obviously I won't be doing this anymore. So why don't you enjoy it while you can? Go!
Sitcom.
It's going to get sitcoms on.
Talk about having your finger on the pulse of what's happening now. Like all those sitcoms that are coming out.
Somebody even asked him, like, when's the last time you went on an audition?
Right.
And he was just like, I don't know. Never. Mm-hmm. And he was running down his resume.
No, he said there's an email in my inbox from my manager, so that might be an audition right there. Like, he's unbelievable, this guy.
But he was listing all his credits, all the way back from Stern to Leno to the football arm wrestling hosting thing.
Yep.
That was 2017.
Right.
That's the most recent thing he's done.
The most recent thing he's done is that prank call to Trump that sucked. That was the worst. That's
not a job.
I was explaining this on WATP. I've never thought of it this way before, but we were talking about his Trump call because he thinks that we're going to go to prison for calling Stevie Tomatoes. Meanwhile, he pretended to be a senator and talked to the president, recorded it, and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Secret Service got involved. Like, way more of a big deal than anything that Vinny and I did on the Creep Off. But it's crazy to me, if you think about Donald Trump, and even now, but back then, the most interesting person in the world. This was a guy, people who hated Trump couldn't stop talking about him. People who loved Trump couldn't stop talking about him. Most interesting man in the world, and John made him boring. Yeah. He figured out a way to have a phone call with Donald Trump and make it the least interesting thing anyone's ever heard. It's incredible.
Take that shit, whale.
All right, let's get back to this real quick. Tap F Kid says, Lady K, did you and Moonhead talk about which prison you would prefer to be thrown into? I heard the lawsuit has reached class action. I actually, on the Creep Off today, I was telling Vinny, I want the top bunk.
Yeah.
Because, he's a little bigger than I am. Yeah. So.
Did you get the image of Vinny's elementary school?
Oh, I didn't pull that. Because that's another one of John's like, oh, aren't I funny? And you're like, you're not.
I know.
Not great. Eli Hunter says, where is the ghostly looking Grandpa Drew from? He's from the Drew Lane podcast, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Eli.
Yeah, Eli. Better fucking recognize the king of Detroit over here we're talking to.
Ghostly looking. All right, I'm not tan right now.
Yeah, well, it's about a cloud cover where we live. Hotbody 1330, $5 says he called it an actor strike. He brags so much about being in the Writers Guild, you'd think he'd get that right. Well, there was the actors did go on strike at a certain point as well, because John was like, I could get all these guests, but they keep telling me they're on strike. It's like, well, no, they're on strike from acting. They could go on your show. They just don't want to. Yeah. Idiot.
Hey, Carl, Hot Body looked a lot like, is that Rocky Dennis?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Really looks familiar.
Yeah, good luck. Joseph Silva, $5. Carl, even as a musician and recording, you should have had a clue how to run a board. Yes, I know everything that John has done is dealt with audio equipment, and he has no idea how to do it. It's crazy. Zach Hoffman, member for 1 month, says, Carl, when you do go to jail with Vinny, are you two joining the Aryan Brotherhood? And Andy, can I get a skull, please? Skull! All right. Yeah, I got to figure out my strategy for that. Drew, I know you watch a lot of prison shows and true crime stuff.
Yes.
What's your recommendation for when I go to prison?
Let me think about it. The Aryan Brotherhood's not a bad move, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my last name's pretty German sounding, Hamburger, so I think I could fit in.
I think, would Vinny fit in there? Paulino? I suppose he could.
Yeah, he was part of the
he'd be a wet nurse.
All right, I got to get into the thing that I've been wanting to talk about this whole time, because Stuttering John claims that he's a way better guitarist than I am. I have some things to say about this.
John, Carl's in a Discord that says you can't play guitar even with a normal hand. I argue with him saying you can play anytime, so play a Diddy. First of all,
I argued with him.
I will put my guitar playing.
John's so stupid too. So I love Daniel, what he's doing here, because he continues on this for a couple of episodes. And I'm not in the Discord arguing with people about who plays guitar better. I promise you I have better things to do with my life. But it's funny that John sees that and just goes, what is he saying in the Discord? It's fucking great.
I love it.
Over Lady K's any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. He put his guitar playing over mine any day of the week.
Put my guitar playing over Lady K's any day of the week. All you have to do is listen to my fucking debut album on Atlantic Records. That's me on the guitar. And you can put that up against anything Lady K has ever played. And trust me, I make mincemeat of him.
All right. So I have this album. And, we broke down, easy for you to say, the next thing we're doing on our Patreon is I am breaking down the guitar playing on this. We got to listen to these guitar solos, this lead guitar playing that John's bragging about, because I'm not even sure if John's the one playing guitar on it.
Yeah.
I think maybe you got a studio guy to play the guitar on it, because now people are like, hey, play some guitar for us. Show us. I mean, if you're such a great guitarist, show us what you got.
Can't believe Daniel August is so mad that I don't have a fucking tube for my amp. it's not even a tube. I mean a fuse. And the amp is over there. It's not my Marshall. It's my Fender. And the guitar is I don't have any of my chords or anything.
Chords.
Daniel August saying $2. Okay, you owe me. Carl made me look stupid. Dude, I just don't have my equipment. My equipment is in Florida. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Can you believe that? He goes, I am a way better guitarist, but my amp doesn't have the fuse in it, and I don't like that guitar over there, and I don't have my chords with me.
Yeah.
I love this.
My B chord at home and my D chord at home.
Yeah, those are in Florida.
That's what they say, right? My shit's all over the place makes perfect, right?
Right.
It's not practice. It's just, I mean, shit's there. I tried to, when there was a chance he was going to come do the Sunday gig last month or 2 months ago, I thought for 2 seconds that I would put a band together and cover his album, like when he got here, hoping that if we were playing it, he would get up on stage and maybe make a fool of himself. So I listened to this album, and every song is just a ripoff of something at the time. It's an STP ripoff. It's an Alice in Chains ripoff. It's a Soundgarden ripoff. It's a Soul, Collective Skull ripoff. Every single song is just aping somebody.
And what an attractive cover. Who wouldn't? If you're remember you used to go to the CD store and just skim through all the different titles. If you saw this, you're like, I bet this sounds good. On the back, he's sitting on a toilet. Wow, wacky stuff, John.
It's crap.
Good stuff.
I have a question though. If somebody told Gary Clark Jr. said, "Hey, Gary Clark, I'm a better guitar player," would he say, "Go to my album from 2002"? And isn't that ridiculous?
I play my own solos. I don't think Gary Clark Jr. would say that. All right. Well, I don't know. Here's more excuses on why John can't beat me at guitar right now.
When I play, I feel pain. And you got to add this on top of it, Dan.
When I hear it, I do.
I know.
The index and the thumb, I can't feel.
But wait a second.
I can feel
you just said you feel pain.
the pain, but it's tingly.
Oh.
It's like when you get hit with the fucking Novocaine in your gums. So I have a lot going against me right now. So I'm not at where I was. And I got to fucking, I got to get there. But if you want to watch my playing, go to, I'll talk my way out of it on YouTube. I can't play it because they'll fucking.
He's talking about his music video. If you want to see how I play guitar, watch my music video.
I mean, listen, Tony Iommi didn't have any fingertips, and he was fucking an amazing guitar player. This guy's got mostly all his fingertips.
And he didn't have a perfect heart.
Dude, John's got 5 fingertips on 4 fingers. He should be way better at guitar than me.
Yeah.
Strike me, whatever. Or watch me play Gypsy Morning on Conan live.
There you go.
Now, Drew, do you remember when we did the live show in Detroit? John played the guitar solo on Conan live.
Yes, very well.
We broke it down, but John's proud of that performance, which tells me that maybe he's not that great a guitarist. I don't know. Well, we'll find out. Like I said, I'm going to do a full analysis of this. We'll get to the bottom of it.
With that other episode, he started walking back. Somebody's just like, "Oh, it was horrendous. You're Conan."
Oh, I have that.
Okay.
Don't worry. I have that clip. I have a whole series of clips about, because this is getting to him now. He's getting very upset about this.
And then you can see me fucking shredding.
Shredding.
And keep in mind, Daniel, I'm playing original songs that I wrote.
Ooh.
Lady K's playing cover songs.
All right, so I just want to point out, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but it's hard to say that you're better than someone else at guitar if you know nothing about what they do. I've played in dozens of bands, all original music. I did a whole show about on WATP, the music special, where I play all the music that I wrote.
Beloved.
I mean, everyone loves that episode. Where I play all the music that I wrote, all the guitar parts I wrote, and John just makes up a thing that's not true, that I just play covers. Okay.
So you have to keep that in mind as well. I'm writing my own riffs. He's covering other people's. So who is the real genius here? Thank you.
Well, I'm not a genius at guitar. I'm just way better than you. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
It's all or nothing. It's either you don't know how to play the fucking guitar or you're a genius. That's the only fucking speeds he has.
He's incredible. So he just makes up shit. He's never heard me play guitar. and he knows that he's way better than me. And I guess it's because he's just an entertainer.
This is what I'm good at. Entertainment. This is what I went to school for. Entertainment. That's what I always wanted to do. And I've been doing that since I was a kid. You know, I was in all district band in second and third grade. I always did solos and chorus. Sunrise, sunset.
When he's not trying to be funny, Howard told him this many years ago. John, you're funny when you're not trying to be funny. You're unintentionally funny. When he goes back to, you think I'm not a great guitarist? Did you know that I played trumpet in second grade? Like, yes, I actually did know that. You're not a good guitarist. It's nothing to do with anything.
What word? Wait, hold on. What words? Now I'm fucking. What words of wisdom shall I give them? How can I help to ease their way?
Pretty good stuff, Chad. You proved us wrong.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Good luck on the stress test today, John.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's rooting for him, obviously. All right, so people are now spreading this rumor that John didn't play the leads on his debut album, and this is getting to him.
You know, because I don't have a guitar here to play, really. And he was saying that, you know, I said when I get to Florida, you know, I'll take the axe out, but I don't have my rig here. And then some idiot on Dabblers that just came up is saying that, oh, John didn't play the guitar on his album. I'm like, oh, okay.
Why even address it? That's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
nobody said anything.
Why is he on Dabblers? He says he never goes on Dabblers. He goes on Dabblers every single day, it seems like.
Yeah.
He's always on Dabblers Anonymous. And I saw that post too. And I think that person's onto something.
Mm-hmm.
No, look, we all Google our name every day, constantly looking for what the new update on how people feel about us are.
Especially when everyone hates us. That's always a fun
Yeah,
thing to
especially
do.
especially with this chat.
Yeah.
It's always a good activity for you.
They don't create subreddits shitting on nobody. Yeah, I don't
That
think
is
they
true.
do.
That's true. Yeah, so I think that John is starting to realize that he's going to get found out because we're going to go through. This is my plan. I'm going to find him playing these songs live, and I'm going to reference that with the studio recording. We're going to figure out, is John playing lead guitar on this? Because I have a feeling he's not.
We've never seen John play ever. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you never saw me play. Just go to fucking every fucking video that's been out there. I mean, there's actually live of me playing.
All right. I will check that out.
All right.
Challenge accepted, sir.
There's a lot of
There's also, I think Milli Vanilli played live too, a lot.
They're very talented.
Are there many videos of him playing guitar?
I know that Cardiff found that one where the guy yelled out in between songs, "Stutter, you prick," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the entire show, that video.
But there's multiple Stuttering John melodies examples where he picks up the acoustic that is not even in tune and just fails
I know.
live on the internet
Someone
over and
asked
over
him.
again.
Someone asked him if he tunes his guitar by ear, and he goes, "Yes, I do." No, we know. Tuners are accurate. We know. But yeah, Drew, I got to get to the bottom of that. That's my next mission in life, is to track down John playing guitar live, finding these videos, and breaking it down.
Have you caught this song he's played a few times on his acoustic? He says, yeah, this is an original I've been working on, and it's not quite finished, but do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's got about 2 lines, I would say, and maybe a couple chords, but he suggested this is some song that he might put out eventually.
No, I have not heard that. But have you heard him? So there's a guy who chats him whose name is Ace. And so John tries to sing the Ace is the Place jingle from Ace Hardware.
Helpful hardware, man.
Listen to this.
Ace. Ace is the place for the. I can never get that fucking commercial right. Ace is the place in the hardware.
Unbelievable. He tried it again. He filmed this and he was like, maybe I'll get it this time. No, not even close. He should sing
His
the
brain, his
JD
brain is mush. It's mush.
He should
He
sing the
can't
JD
remember
Wentworth
things.
song. That's what everyone's singing these
Liberty,
days.
liberty, line. Fucking idiot.
All right. So
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
all right. So this is someone saying that John's guitar playing on Conan is horrendous. This is what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And this is great because it starts off with John going, no, it wasn't. And then, maybe it was. And the excuses start coming out on why maybe it wasn't that great.
John's Ready Whip can. Thanks to $2. Your guitar solo on Conan was fucking horrendous. No, it wasn't. First of all, A, it wasn't. B, my hair was way like this. It doesn't matter.
Huh?
You know.
Are you following this so far, dude? First off, it was great. Secondly, his hair was down, and it doesn't matter.
What? There's no rock stars with long hair when they play solos?
No, he was the first one to ever try it.
Okay.
You try fucking killing it on a fucking show where, it's live. We'll do it live.
Yeah, that's how guitar playing works. You have to do it live. You're not the first person to ever have to play guitar live, John.
Yeah. You try playing your song correctly on stage.
Yeah, the song you wrote, the guitar solo that you wrote, it's hard to do that. Like, no, it shouldn't be.
But I hang my heart on that solo. And I hang my heart on all the solos I did.
Hang your what?
He hangs his heart, his perfect heart?
You would say hang his hat.
Yeah. How do you hang your heart on a solo? Maybe he's
Oh,
trying
it's
to say his
perfect
solo
heart.
was perfect. Yeah. Maybe that's
Yeah.
Shit, if I could play a lot of them, I would. But there's so much tape of me shredding. So if you can't find it, that's on you.
Shredding.
All right.
Why don't you find it and show us?
I got one more clip on here where John is explaining that he does play all the solos on his album.
If you listen to my solo on King, I'm shredding. But I don't have it here. I don't have it on YouTube.
I don't have it here. He's like, let me check out this song. Oh, I don't have it here.
I did try and find it. You can't find it.
I tried to find it too.
It doesn't exist.
Well, instead of it being on you, why doesn't he show it to us?
That's what he's trying to do right here.
Okay.
No.
No.
Well,
You know what? I'll because it's on my other computer, but I'll play you, and
on my
then you'll hear me shred.
My wallet in my other
And
pants.
it's
yeah, this is just like when he went to the Yankees game and left his wallet in the car
Yeah.
or something. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to buy the beer. I don't have
It's
the
in
song
there.
on this computer.
No.
and it's me, fucking Dabblepoint. Oh yeah, it's fucking hysterical. I've been on stage since I was fucking.
I mean, listen,
5.
it's been like 25 years since
6.
his last album. Why doesn't he grace our presence with his new album? He's probably been plugging away for years, as a
Right.
musician does, never stops playing.
Of course.
And, he should be ready by now. And even like the fact that he doesn't think that playing covers is like a talent. It's like people go out and they make living playing covers. He can be playing covers in a bar every night because he loves to play guitar.
Well, the band Steel Panther started off as a cover band, and the guitarist and the singer were actually in a Van Halen cover band. Not an easy band to cover.
Yeah.
I would opine that John cannot play Van Halen riffs. No fucking way in hell. So just saying that playing covers makes you a bad guitarist is not the case in any way. That's stupid. Actually, writing your own music is easier,
Yeah.
right? Because you can write to your strengths.
Oh, right.
You can fuck it up.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know if you fuck it up too.
Well,
That's a
some
good point.
Dick strumming 4 chords on an acoustic that they wrote is not better than somebody covering Hocus Pocus.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
so much for that argument.
Well,
But this is really getting to John. He is very upset about this whole thing. People are doubting his guitar playing ability. He doesn't know how to deal with that. So I think we
I'm
need to
not
explore
doubting
this.
it. I know it sucks.
Oh, I know it sucks. We're going to explore this a lot more. Challenge accepted, John. I'll be looking into all of your guitar playing. We'll be breaking it down frame by frame. Don't you worry. I'm looking forward to it. Before I get back into Super Chat, they are piling up. Drew, I know you've been watching John very closely in this last week, preparing for your debut on Dabblepoint. one thing I love about Drew is that this guy shows up prepared. He always does. So what are some other things that you picked up on from this week that we should be addressing?
Okay, I want to go back to the John watching Alisa Jordana, because that was really the viral video of the week. And not only did it take him 24 minutes to find the 90-second clip, I'm not exaggerating either. I wrote down a transcript of what John said when he watched the actual
his analysis of the video. We've all seen Alisa Jordana getting her hair pulled by her boyfriend, pulled out of the car. Well, yeah, what was John's analysis of this?
Well, there's tons of dead air, of course, while he's waiting for it to start. And a lot of dead air too, as she's like starting to pop the guy in the passenger seat. But once he starts grabbing her hair, which is the wild part of the video.
Sure.
John's first comment is, "Call the cops." He's seen the video. He knows this isn't live, but somehow he gets caught up in the excitement and wants the cops called. Then
I'm sorry. I know you're going. I'm going to let you go, Drew, but I have to point out the fact that John on his videos always thinks he's talking to the person he's looking at. Whenever he's doing something, he's always yelling at Kevin Brennan or me or Shuley or Bob, and he's always going less like, that's not true. Why don't you tell them this? Why don't you do that? It's just like, they're not listening. You're watching an old video, John. It's already happened. But yeah, when he was yelling, call the cops, he said it like 4 or 5 times. We played it on your show. And I'm like, who's going to call the cops, John?
I did call the cops, and they're like, where's, I didn't know what to tell him.
It's already happened.
It's already happened.
I'm so caught up in the moment. Anyway, he says, call the cops. And he says, Jesus, call the cops. Holy shit. And then, by the way, a little prep would have helped here, because I think everyone who did break this down like we did knew who everything and everyone was. He says, who is this asshole? Let it go, you dumb fuck. I mean, I don't think he can let her go, John. It's already happened. Yeah. Then, holy shit. And then I thought I love this comment because it said so much. I don't condone this type of behavior. President Melendez had to check in there and make a statement generally.
So wait, beating up women is bad. Okay. No. All right. Yeah. That's a pretty good stance. I'll go along with that.
Powerful comment followed by, holy shit, fucking hell. Wow. Fucking hell. Who is this animal? Wow. Whoa. Whoa. That's fucked up. Then he said, so he gets done with it, and so it's analysis time, and he says, who is to blame here? She hit him, he hit her. Where is that little bald gnome Vince the lawyer when you need him? Well, he can't analyze this without Vince the lawyer?
No, he has no idea what's going on.
Then he says, hey, Vince, I know you're with your kids, but just for like 5 minutes, I need your legal opinion here. Then he says, I need a beer. And he gets up and he goes and takes a shit, which we can hear perfectly. I mean, the bathroom must be mic'd. I guess the apartment's very small, but honestly, I can't believe how loud that was. And then he says, I had to shave some brown, and he sings, Are You Lonesome Tonight? And then he comes back, and that's pretty much the transcript. But he just, how could you not have watched it in advance and had some commentary for it that was actually worth a shit? Instead, he acts like he's seeing it for the first. Actually, he acts like it's happening live.
Yeah, he acts like he's watching it live. He acts like he's watching the white Bronco as OJ's trying to get away. And
he actually says, "I'm glad I don't hear from her anymore." Like, he almost acts like he's glad it happened.
Oh yeah, that was a weird thing too. He's like, I don't even think about Alisa Jordana, and I'm happy about it. Instead of like, I hope she's okay.
Right.
Which would have been a nice thing to say.
John's like a black guy at the movie theater. You know, he's like, get out of there. It's like, he can't. They already shot this like a year ago. They can't.
Don't go in that room. Yeah. Why are you going in there?
You're going to get it.
He seemed to feel like Lisa was getting hers or something. Wasn't he sort of happy it happened in that way? Because she wouldn't fuck him?
The next day. Well, yeah. So he definitely has some resentment towards Alisa Jordana. Which
True.
Has been the case for a long time.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
It's been the case for a while because John, well, he's been trying to fuck Alisa for a very long time, but he went out to dinner with her in LA back when Alisa was living in LA and doing Kermit and Friends. And John says, I'll do your show if you'll have dinner with me the night before. So she shows up with like an entourage. He was not happy about that. He's like, I guess I'm not getting laid. No, you're not getting laid, John. certainly the case.
Actually, I think she showed up with another guy that wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, well, that's what she does. That's her move.
Both of them at once. But that reminds me when John was talking about the great guests he has coming up.
Yes.
Did you hear him mention Jessica Hahn? I got to have on Jessica Hahn. I got to get her. Yeah. Jessica Hahn.
Well, there's somebody impersonating Jessica Hahn in the chat.
All
so
right. I have the clip.
Oh, before we get too far away.
Ahead. All right,
before we get too far away from Alisa Jordana, though, he did say, she's a narcissist and I'm not. This narcissist analysis.
Oh, Johnny.
So this narcissist analysis
is
getting to him too.
Yes. Yeah. Did he pronounce the word correctly, though?
Did he?
Okay.
I can't imagine that he did.
It's hard. It's a very difficult word to say. So he's had this chatter coming in who is Jessica Hahn, the name, and there's a photo of Jessica Hahn from 35 years ago as the avatar. And it seems like John's falling for it.
Thanks for the $5. When you're going to have me on the show, John, we could live stream, go out for dinner, drinks, maybe a little sex. Contact me. I am going to reach out to you, Jessica.
Who knows that's not really her? He has to know.
No, he does.
Well, he has to know that. But I think just like when he was getting catfished and he was claiming that he was recording all of the calls and everything because he's like, I knew it all along. I was just playing along. But in the back of his head, there's that little glimmer of hope. Maybe it is Jessica Hahn, and maybe she does want to have sex. And just in case, I'm going to play this in case it is.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic.
I thought he was serious, though. I think he thinks she's like a good guest among the great guests he's talking about getting now that the writer's strike is over, or the actor's strike.
I think, well, he does have a connection to Jessica Hahn. He has met her. They've hung out through the Howard Stern show and stuff.
So
I
also noticed
in his mind, like that's a real potential get for him.
Yeah. When OJ died, which you would think John would certainly do some nice prep for that because Howard was very much involved with the Baba Booey to you all, the Mr. Higgins call. He referenced it. He talked about it. He didn't remember it very well, but that clip is so available. I couldn't believe he didn't use that on the show. He does no prep, zero.
Well, it's funny because people send him shit too. People will send him things to play on the show, and he even gets that wrong. Yeah. He even fucks that up. I actually have an example of that because, going back to this idea that John, says he does more research than me and he's the talent. Citizen M sent him something that I guess April and Aaron were talking about on Steel Toe. And we'll check this out.
Oh, they made a joke about my son. Ah, fuck. Citizen M. I didn't even fucking realize that. This timestamp may be interest to you, which I heavily condemn their comments about your transgender son. I didn't know. Fuck. I didn't read the whole thing.
It's almost like you should have done a little prep before you started your show, John. Because then he's reading it in real time. He's just like, oh, there's a thing on here I could have played on my show. But he did respond back to Citizen M.
Yep.
And he reads his response. He's very proud of it. And one of the things that he likes to say about me is that I'm always laughing at my own jokes. He says it about all of us, actually. And John does that all the time.
I wrote, I want to give my sincere thoughts and prayers to April Immelt for having to put up with her husband Aaron for so long. I'll gladly extend the olive branch, and I'm willing to take April on a trip to France to assist in her recovery. Of course, all expenses paid. Best, the one, the only, the legendary Duke of the Dabbleverse, Stuttering John Melendez. And
he's so proud of himself. He reads through his
but
whole
why
response
France?
back.
Just take her to Milwaukee. It's right there.
Right, yeah. She lives in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Minnesota or whatever.
Minnesota, whatever. Hey, whatever. I don't really know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
That was that same proud laugh he had when he says, Drew and Mike, who I don't know.
Yeah.
He just keeps that silly low laugh for about 10 seconds.
And he was saying, he was talking to Scott, the engineer. He's like, we don't even know who Drew and Mike are. And he's laughing about it. And I remember when I talked to John, when we had our one-on-one, I go, well, they were the number one show in Detroit and Howard entered that market in the late 90s. And you probably should know that if you were part of the Howard Stern show, know what the competition is in major markets. And the fact that you don't know that tells me that you weren't that involved or engaged in the Howard Stern show. Your biggest credit. That's embarrassing. I love that he takes credit for things that he probably should have known and he should be embarrassed about. But.
Well, he didn't have to worry because the pressure's never on you when you're the sixth guy in a show like that. Or in the Jay Leno ratings, did he actually have to sweat the ratings on Jay Leno or Howard Stern? No.
Of course not. But you would think that taking phone calls, you would know what's going on. Howard's talking about, we entered Detroit, we're up against these guys, and Howard's going on and on about it. How do you not know that?
No, I mean, he said he was going to have a funeral or something. I mean, that's pretty standard for all the markets. They're stealing my act. He said all those things about us, like he said about these other shows, not nearly as often as John DeBella or some of the ones he really went after. But it seems like that would be something you would at least remember. But I think he takes joy in saying that he doesn't know who we are. I think he thinks that's cool.
And I should mention that if you want to check out what Drew is up to these days, the Drew Lane podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. And of course, you guys have a YouTube channel now too, where you put up clips of the show every single day.
Yes, we do. And we've had it for about a little over a year, but it's doing great. And actually, I saw how well yours was doing when we started, because I think we're the last show that ever went on YouTube, because I hate video normally, but we finally gave in.
I know your producer, Brandon's not a big fan of going to YouTube, but he's like, I never wanted to do video. That's why I got to the radio. I fucking hate this.
I could see why.
I tried to have Brandon on the show today, but it's his birthday. Happy birthday, hey, Brandon.
Oh, happy birthday, Brandon. I didn't even know that. And I watch them every day. I hated having cameras. That sucks. It just really, I liked being in a studio with nobody ever seeing anything. It was great.
So I guess the story is, and I don't know how interesting this is for people, but I'm a radio nerd, so I enjoy it. So Howard goes into Detroit. He's up against the Drew and Mike show, and he's trying to do his thing. Like you were saying, these guys are ripping me off. I'm the best. He didn't become number one in Rochester either. We's always beat him out. So there's certain markets that it didn't work for him. But the funny thing about going up against Drew and Mike and saying that these guys are just ripping me off, the Red Wings were in the Stanley Cup playoffs and won the Stanley Cup the year that Howard came into the market. Yeah. So you guys are just talking about hockey, and the entire town is like fired up about this team, and you're talking about the games every day. And Howard's like, these guys are ripping me off. Howard, how many guys play on offense in a hockey game? He wouldn't know the first fucking thing.
Yeah, we did do a lot of sports on our show. The Super Bowl the day after, we'd be talking nothing but the Super Bowl or the NFL playoffs. Or not that we were a sports show, but we were a very different sounding show. So while we were talking about the Red Wings and their Stanley Cup run, Howard was talking about his movie, Private Parts, which was opening, I think, shortly after that. Yeah. And a lot of celebrity guests on, which was great, but it was a lot of me. And so, the shows are nothing alike.
Right. Yeah. And we know Detroit is watching the Lions on their run this past year, and the Tigers starting out 5-0. Like that town goes nuts for a winning team. So people are going to be tuning into that rather than some guy talking about.
But that's what Howard did. Howard was fanatical, not about sports, but about ratings. So when it came to a new market, like you said, like he would just nonstop talk about it. So you would imagine everybody else in the studio would be focused around what's going on with Drew and Mike and, the new market and stuff, like how we're going to take them down. Hey, let's send John out there. Let's, let's do some of this and that and the other thing. But
correct me if I'm wrong, Detroit's going to be top 10 too, right? Maybe top 15?
I think it was at the time. It was like number 10 or 11. It was kind of a big deal.
Huge market for that.
Howard was psyched to kick ass, but and I don't really talk about the fact that we did really well against Howard, because Howard did so. Howard was the number one show in the world, but it still seems like something. There's no way you wouldn't know that. I bet Fred knows.
Yeah, I bet everyone else on the show would know that. Dang Lizard, €2. SJ is growing the perfect guest for his show, and I'm looking at his avatar there. What are those conjoined twins that just got married? You guys were talking about that on your show, Drew.
How do you China? I don't get it. So this guy, what if the other twin doesn't want to have sex?
So I think the one twin has the vagina, the other twin has the ass. Right? That's how it's got to work. Or maybe they rotate.
Well, that's perfect.
The vagina that day.
That's really weird. And then can this guy cock block anybody else that wants to be with the other girl?
Or like we've all been there where, maybe you've had a couple cocktails or something and you slip into the wrong hole and you're cheating on me. Like, well, I didn't realize. Vito Bandito, $2 says, which car is SJ driving here? He's so responsible. It's drinking a beer in the car. Jay Wolfenstein, $2 says, Carl, you're in a band. Ask Zen about drummers.
Yeah, don't do that. It's a little inside joke.
Stuart Copeland versus what was the question the other day for you, Zen?
John
Bottom
it was either
versus-
him or John Bottom.
Yeah, John Bottom versus Stuart.
I said John Bottom for sure.
Penis Wrinkle, $10. Thank you, Penis Wrinkle, or Patrick, my board op. Cat's out of the bag. My name is Patrick. I worked with SJ as a board op at K-Rock. Oh, so this is really you. One day I walked in on him with his wiener in Gary Puppet's mouth. He got me fired. And Penis Wrinkle was born, and I vowed to ruin it. I hope that's the real backstory. I choose to believe it.
Yeah. Everyone's got a backstory.
That's hilarious.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Mumbling Nick, aka the Nooch, $5 says, I trashed Vince the Warrior in his chat today for ruining the Dabbleverse, and a chatter named YouTube channel kept accusing me of being you, Carl. I've been called worse. Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for doing the Lord's work because, Vince has not been good for the Dabbleverse. Geek Course, $2. Great to see Zen here. F Zen's neighbor.
That's right. Fuck him.
Fuck him. Uh-oh, Stevie Tomato's watching. Uh-oh. The graffiti isn't so bad, but please tell your friend John to stop shitting when he's out at bars.
Should really be Stevie Tomato Diff, though.
Yeah, Stevie Tomato Diff. That's going to be a new character that shows up on Tuki's show. Turd Ferguson, $5 says, phone call recording generally goes by the state it's recorded in. Don't tell John. Yeah, we're in New York, but whatever. Nobody fucking cares.
You weren't pranking anybody. You were calling up as you, asking questions. Where the prank call came from. Again, I don't think he has a good grasp on what a prank call is.
Vinny's saying, hey, this is Vinny from the Creep Off. I just want to see if my buddy Carl is going to have to pay for this graffiti. It's like, we weren't doing anything to thwart their business.
It was earnest.
No, he had
I'd like to speak to Mrs. Tomatoes.
He identified himself, the show. They didn't say they didn't want to be on the show. I mean, no. There's nothing nefarious about it.
Absolutely.
Are you going to sue us? What are we, 5? We're going to start suing people for a prank call. Let's see. Desi's not woke. $10 says, we all know that Zen is ridiculously cute, but I call Carl Mr. Handsome. To anyone who will listen, my husband has been annoyed with me telling him Carl makes my heart skip a beat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Desi's not woke.
Are you using filters, Carl?
Of course. You've seen me in real life, Drew. I've been over to your house. You know, I look nothing like this. Giraffe Shaft. Drew blows.
Thank you, Giraffe Shaft.
Is that like a Primus Sucks thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael P. $5 says, how can we connect John and Corey Feldman for an ultimate awful podcast? Go Bills. Michael P. is the one who made that little skull thing. Stop talking about my kids that we have up in the corner over here. Thank you,
awesome, yeah.
Michael P. for that. And John and Corey Feldman would be an amazing. Oh, John's talking about getting celebrities on a show. He should get Corey Feldman on the show as a guest.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Crowdsource that or something?
Everybody should get Corey Feldman on their show.
I'll take you one step further. I think they should start a band.
Yes.
Oh.
In fact, John should become the lead guitarist in Corey Feldman's band.
Well, let's not get.
No, I think he'd be an upgrade. I've seen his band. I think he'd be an upgrade.
I don't know if he's done that before.
I think I'm coming to Detroit this summer to see Corey Feldman and Limp Bizkit.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I have to make that trip.
Could John bear to do the thing at the beginning though, where they go, here he comes, the comeback king? Wouldn't that be too hard for John to do? Wouldn't they have to do a here he comes, Stuttering John too?
Yeah. He'd be like, well, we should probably mention me though too in that. In that chant.
Jay Leno and you just
I've had come on my back. Can I get in on this?
Drive Unbridled Song 4216 $2 says, SJ, if you are ever in Sun City Center, Florida, I'll buy. I love that thing where someone gives him money, just goes, if you're ever in LA, if I'm ever in your town. Because John's always traveling around touring all the time.
Yep.
Zach Hoffman, $2 says, Drew, FMK, Kate Meany, Ase, and Phil Elmore. Good question. It's actually a terrible question.
I don't know what the question is. I don't understand.
So fuck, marry, kill. You have Kate Meany, you have John's mom, and then Phil Elmore. So, I don't think you have to put a lot of effort into the Phil one, although
Well, I already fucked Phil.
If he
so
has a
that's
flashlight, watch out.
that. Well, young Phil. Mm.
Yeah, young skinny Phil right here.
Wait, where did Phil Elmore go? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he quit. He quit the Dabbleverse.
Why?
Thanks,
He's a
Vince.
Dabbleverse casualty, unfortunately.
Was he getting a pounding from the Dabbleverse?
In what way? No, I think he was doing fine. I just think it ran its course for him.
Okay.
So you gonna answer this question, or should we move on?
I don't want to marry. No, I don't. No, I don't want to. I can't figure out what. I guess to kill Phil and Kate. I don't know. I don't really want to do those things.
I think the answer is you fuck Kate, you marry John's mom, because then you become John's stepfather.
I would marry Phil.
You don't want to. You know.
Fuck Kate, marry Phil, kill John's mom.
All right. There's a lot of good answers.
Oh, now they're trying to kill my mother.
Did you hear that? Philip Joe Rizzuto, $2 says, I saw John in Sun City Center, Florida on 4/2/16. Gotcha. Guillermo, handyman to the stars, $5 says, you guys are simpletons for even hinting that some of John's nicknames are humorous. Most of his material is stolen from Reddit posts. That is true.
Yep.
All right, I said it. I'll excuse myself.
We know that. Well, that brought up
all right, leave the room, Drew. Leave the room and then come back.
Yeah.
An interesting point about Asa. Remember when he went on his show last week or the week before, and he's like, his mom fell down the steps, and he was like chastising people that it was our fault, that his mother is clumsy and she fell down the steps because somebody.
Meanwhile, Vince is sending 99% of the food deliveries to his mom's house and his places, and it's our fault. Okay. Melissa Young, thank you so much for gifting 5 Who Are These Podcasts memberships. That's where you get 2 bonus episodes every single month. You can watch us do Who Are These Podcasts live Wednesdays at 5, Saturdays at 2. All of our members on Patreon, Supercast, and YouTube get the link to watch it live. Meredith Halfpenny, Drew and Mike crew assemble, bitch. I bet you have a lot of Canadian listeners, right? Being
absolutely.
big in Detroit.
Windsor's right over there.
Yep. Candace Mazer, $2 says, Carl, what's your honest opinion on Producer Joe? Producer Joe does an amazing job, and I've actually had conversations with people in the business, in the industry, who have said, how the fuck did Shuli get Producer Joe? He's really good at his job. And I've explained to him, like, well, he's a fan of what he's doing. So you can't just hire someone who just wants to be, I want to be a radio producer. It's like, no, I think Stuttering John sucks, and I want in on this. Is the way to hire someone for these gigs. John Riding in back, $2 says, I can confirm my dad never missed child support. Yeah, well, your dad was not Stuttering John Melendez then. Red 473, $5. John content has really dropped off since Atlantic City. Nothing he ever does leads anywhere. That said, he was featured in Turkey Tom's video on Alisa Jordana. Oh, that's another point I wanted to make when we were talking about the Alisa Jordana stuff, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Every single YouTuber has commented on that video. It has made the rounds to people with 5 million subs are watching that video and commenting on it. And the worst take I've seen is Stuttering John, who actually knows Alisa Jordana, has been hung out with her multiple times, been on her show. She's been on his show, and he had the worst take of anyone.
And he couldn't find it. It was the last 90 seconds of the video, and he couldn't find it.
I was talking to my buddy Turbs McGurk the other day, and he said, check out this video. And then Dirty Deeds told me to watch this part.
His best friend.
The Jordan Mike segment with Carl, where you had all the shit leading up to it with the cop at the mall. That stuff is not like, it's worth going and finding your guys' roundup of it, because that's the only place I saw that stuff. And it's very compelling. You know, it sets the table for.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the 2.5 hours leading up to the incident. And so, and I think I even said this on your show, Drew, when we were breaking it down, because I don't know what the listeners are thinking. And they know who Alisa Jordana is probably because she's been on your show and our show. But I was like, there is a payoff here. You know, it seems like we're just going through this weirdo's day in the life kind of thing. But
no, but John was asking the questions that I asked when I first saw that, you know, when it was first up on Twitter, it was just the last couple minutes and you're going, who is this guy? What is this about? And then you realize, well, there's a 2-hour video and I invested, and you did too, the 2 hours to find out the answers to all those questions because you just wanted to know. And plus we wanted to use it. But no, John can't do that. He just keeps asking the same questions.
Oh, and you know what? That actually brings up something that I wanted to play on here, because So John does zero prep for his show. He does a show every single day, 7 days a week, brags about how much money he makes. Like, well, yeah, but you're on every day begging for super chat. So it's not that impressive. But then he explains why he drinks alcohol, why he drinks beer.
You know, I don't have to, but, you know, I drink because I'm bored. It's not because I'm like, I need it. I'm just bored.
This is like 7 beers deep at this
Oh,
point.
yeah, he's very drunk at this point. This is from last night.
He's
But
very bored.
here's the thing. You're not bored, you're boring. Anyone who claims to be bored in their life, that's insane. There's so much to do. I mean, in this day and age, are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen a VR headset? There's so much shit to do, John.
Watch a fucking YouTube video about how to do a better show or something.
Something.
Oh, you
Be
need
productive.
A phone.
Yes.
Yeah. Play Candy Crush.
Listen,
No.
any successful person in show business will tell you should have 22 hours of downtime and 2 hours of actual work that you do, like
Right.
because that's how you get ahead. You know, you're not supposed to be recording albums because you're bored, or you're doing working on your new stand-up hour because you're bored, or your first stand-up hour because you're bored, and booking gigs all over the country because you have that cachet of being this big celebrity from a show that you were on 25 years ago. There's a lot of downtime to this guy's fucking life.
I happen to have a lot of friends who are extremely successful in what they do, some in show business, some in other things. All of them have one trait in common. They work their fucking asses off.
Yeah, they work
They're
all the
always
time.
working.
Everybody knows
Always work.
Mark Cuban is on Hack First Anonymous
Yeah.
with a 30-pack of
Yeah, because he's bored.
Mick Ultra.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
he's got nothing else going
I
on.
don't want to drink 30 beers. I'm just bored.
Yeah, I don't even like drinking. I'm just bored. What else are you going to
Yeah.
do? Oh, since we played that, I got to play. So this is, like you said, 7 or 8 beers in on this show. And now he turns his attention to me.
Yeah. It's pretty hilarious watching it in 2X, how fast he goes through the beers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He chugs. In fact, I have an example. Fuck it. Let's play that first. This is John chugging a beer like he's at a frat party. This is a 58-year-old man right here.
How wasted he is. Oh, my God. He got super chatted to do this, though.
Oh,
Well, no, he
$20.
made up his own rules on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you give me $20, I'll chug my beer.
What's
Goal!
what's the background there?
Oh, that's his the Blunder Careers. So Shuli has a show. Shuli and Bob and Mike have a show called the
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. All those beers ago, I think, is the tagline.
Yeah, that was like the original backdrop to it. Thumbnail.
Right.
Take
So John calls it the Blunder Careers, and then something like all those careers ago. So at least like Shuli had 2 different words there, but John just uses the same word twice because he's so clever.
Not lazy at all.
This reminds me of I'm thinking about when he was in AC and all the stuff that he was doing out there, like a 20-year-old, like
Yeah.
going out, allegedly doing certain, substances in his hotel room with his friends and hanging out. And he's like, I must have drank like 30 beers.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's like he's constantly in his head. That's part of the whatever he's going through. He's a 20-year-old frat guy, still living his glory days.
I remember he was on the Anthony Cumia show with Jackie Martling. So this is going back quite a ways. They were still friendly with each other. Jackie doesn't talk to him now, but that was also back when Jackie was still drinking. So this is going back a ways. And they're both having a beer. If you go on Anthony's show, he usually has some beers in the fridge, and the guests, if they want one, they can have a beer. And John at one point goes, "Oh, you're still on your first one?" And he's cranking up, his third or whatever. And I remember Jackie going, "Oh, you still think that way? You still think that's a brag how fast you're drinking? Like, we're old men, John. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's insane. All right. This is, so I have now entered the crosshairs, and I got to watch myself here.
And Carl, I got news for you.
Oh, he
You're
called,
playing with the big boys.
hold on. He called me Carl. I didn't even realize that when I clipped it. That's cute. Thanks, John.
Powerful.
Thanks, John Edward Melendez.
Too drunk to be clever.
Yeah.
And Carl, I got news for you. You're playing with the big boys now. And the big boys are not going to, I will never let up. I'm going to be relentless. I'm working out with something. Let's just say, don't worry.
Let's just say, don't worry.
Okay, I won't.
I wasn't going to. So I've known John long enough. I can translate this. When he
Yeah.
says he's going to be relentless and I'm playing with the big boys. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
He has absolutely nothing. If John had something on me, I've been making fun of him since 2018.
Yeah.
We're in 2024. If he was going to goof on me, he would have done it by now.
5'4.5" is the big boys now. Is that what
I
it is?
know. What's he talking about?
So big.
Such a loser.
I love the first super chatter's name. I shit in tubs.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how many people are in this chat right? How many people are watching this?
We have almost 1,600 people watching live right now.
Woo! That's pretty damn good. What
It's fucking
John?
awesome.
When I put John on, he's got like 450 at the most.
Yeah, the other day he goes, I only have 360, but we're going up against KB right now. And then he had the balls to say, I almost clipped this, but it was just a quick thing. He had the balls to say that I buy my viewers, or I buy views.
Oh, he says they're going down too. They're really slipping. They're going way down.
Oh yeah, you're also losing patrons.
Yeah, he said that my numbers are tanking or something like that. Someone posted on Hackverse Anonymous, because they reposted it on my subreddit. They looked at from July until the beginning of this month that my Patreon money is down 6%. Now, at the beginning of every month, Patreon numbers go down because if credit cards expire,
Oh, right.
they either auto renew, or if they expire, then they go away. So a lot of times what will happen is, well, not a lot of times, every single time, at the beginning of the month, your numbers go down and then they climb back up, whatever.
Well,
And we've been plateaued for a little while. We've done very well. I make a very good living off of podcasting. I'm excited about it. I appreciate all the support. But it's funny because to think that from July until this month, my Patreon money's down 6%, and John used the word plummeting. My numbers are plummeting. I'm destitute.
Well, Carl, I saw a list of the top, I think it's the top 200 Patreons in entertainment.
Yeah.
And I believe Who Are These Podcasts was 188 or something like that. It was on the list.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised. There's definitely people making a lot more money than me, Shane Gillis and Tim Dillon, and even my buddy Brian Johnson, Tom Steve Dave does very, very well. But we do great. I'm shocked. I'll be honest with you, Drew. When I started Patreon reluctantly, I had no idea that it would turn into what it is, which is why we do 2 bonus shows every single month. It was originally 1. I'm like, wow, people are supporting us. We'll do this. And I'm doing one with my buddy Blind Mike on Monday. So if you do support us on Patreon, you get the bonus shows, and we're doing one with Dick Masterson later in the month.
Well, it's also all organic. You built it from nothing. I mean, didn't you have nothing after your first 100 episodes? And then when you did OP, then it suddenly, you got more viewers because Anthony tweeted it or something.
Yeah.
And then it's built from there. John has The Tonight Show and Howard Stern, as he so often likes to point out. What does he have? 50 Patreons, 100 Patreons, and you got 2,300? I mean, that's,
and I don't want to toot my own horn on this, but it's crazy to me, guys like Opie and Stuttering John, who have this big name and this huge audience and all these people who've subbed on Twitter or YouTube, and they do nothing with it. It's
Squandered.
It's squandered.
That's a good
It's
way to put
crazy.
it.
It's hard to do.
Opie's had 145,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't think that number has changed in a couple years.
Right.
Swear to God. And he gets like 500 views a video. So
Or watch him live. There's 40 people hanging out. It's weird. It's hard to do.
I don't know how he can do that. He's
Him and John have the same work ethic. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
but you know,
zero
when
effort to do
when
it.
somebody calls him out, he'll go, but you'll never make what I was making in 2002, which is
Yeah, I know. It's so
really
great.
odd. I mean,
Colonel Clink coming in, member for 2 months, says, no, Stuttering John said he'd give $5 million to Susanna if he won $100 million after taxes. That's right. I remember him saying that. If it's $100 million, well, after taxes. Really?
Well, he'd only have 50 million left. So
Yeah. Unbelievable. Painkiller $2. Hey, that's Drew. I don't even know who that is, though. No one knows who Drew is. Wendy's cat. Don't forget his brilliant Nudesmax prank. Oh, that was great. I'm just going to tell him I'm from Nudesmax when he went to DC.
oh,
All the Republicans will be fooled. They'll think I'm saying Newsmax, but it's Nudesmax. That way I can't be
I'll learn
sued.
that.
It's like it doesn't matter, John. No one cares. Tree Jones, $5. Drew, I'm a big fan for a while now, thanks to the dork Carl, FTSN.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tree.
I'm glad
Jones.
this promotion can go both ways once in a while.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean? No, we were talking about my Patreon. I'll just say this real quick. I go on the Drew show. I was going to say the old name, but the Drew Lane show, every other week. And we always post those as mini bonus episodes on our Patreon for people to listen to and check out. And I know a lot of people have come around to Drew's show from that. So,
no. A lot of our audience watches Who Are These podcasts. I mean, there's a lot of them. I'm impressed. But you're on our show. I mean, this is really my first official time in the Dabbleverse because I don't know. I'm just a paranoid person.
I love that you're here, Drew. We appreciate it. Drew had an appointment that he moved to be here with us today. So thank you.
Sure.
For doing that.
How's your heart?
He's moved his stress test.
My hips a little up, but my heart is perfect.
No, Drew, I owe a lot to you. Detroit's a huge market for us because of you, and I appreciate everything that you've done.
They love it. I'm glad they caught on because honestly, I saw the show when you and Andy and Kraz and who was the fourth on the show originally?
We had Kevin was my original co-host.
I never saw Kevin.
Yeah, it was Croge, Vinny, producer Chris, Andy, me are the main. Those are the main five behind me there in that.
That was the group I saw originally in whatever year is 2019, and I started just binging shows, and I love the show. I love that you guys were giving it to some of these giant celebrities who were doing these half-ass podcasts, and then we had you on our show, and our audience. I was glad they appreciated it the way I did because it's a great show. And it's nice back and forth. There's a lot of that going on, so it's great. It's
radio fans. I got into this because I'm a fan of radio, and I got really annoyed when every celebrity's just like, I have a podcast now. And you're like, you're terrible at this. That's not. You don't know what you're doing.
Just giving back to the people.
That's right. I did if you check out Matthew Cox's two T's, Matthew Cox YouTube channel, he just posted today. I did an interview with him when we were down in Florida.
Oh.
And he posted that, and I was going off on Dak Shepard a little bit. How much he's fucking phoning it in on that show. So if you want to check out Matthew Cox's YouTube, he does a crazy YouTube channel. Quick plug for Matthew Cox because he was nice enough to have me on. And he does a true crime show. He was in federal prison for 12 years. He's like a con artist. And I finally caught up to him. So he's did a lot of time in prison. And so now he does a show where he has guys who've done time in prison, but he also has FBI agents on and all these different people who are involved in the underworld and tell their stories. And it's fascinating.
That sounds like a cool show.
It's a really
check
cool
that
show.
out. I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
appreciate it. He does a good job.
You sound like kind of an outlier guest on that show.
Yes. It made no sense to have me on. I'm like, dude, thank you so much for having me. I don't know why. I wore my creep off shirt to try to fit in. Like I do a true crime show too. See?
He must have heard about your phone call to Tommy Tomatoes.
Yeah, he knew I was going to prison soon.
Prep you.
Joe Dicker, $10 says, just a little love for Drew, Zen, Andy Q Public, and you too, Carl. Scroll.
Amen.
Thank you, Joe Dicker. Hey, my buddy Christian Blatt coming in. Member for 1 month. 1 month? Oh, I'm just kidding. Carl has his membership card to the Aryan Brotherhood laminated in his wallet, so make sure to take it out when they confiscate all of your belongings. Oh, yeah, I'll have that right up my keister.
Laminated.
I'll make sure to have that. Sesmus, $8 says, did you see the clip of him getting up midstream and taking a very audible dump this week? Ah, yes, we're way behind on super chats. Drew was very into that part of the show.
I was impressed that the audio was so loud. I couldn't figure out how is that shit so loud when he's well, I guess he's pretty close to the microphone when he shits, apparently.
Yeah, the toilet's right next to the couch, which is right next to the front door, which is right next to the bed, which is right next to the fridge.
Every time he opens his mouth, that's what comes out.
Yeah, right.
Let's put it this way. I'm in the same living space as John. And look, now I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
This is how it works.
You get it, yeah.
Yeah.
JJ Shearer Jr. $5 says, it's not even a contest. You're like Slash compared to him, Carl. Thank you very much, JJ Shearer Jr. Check out the Isotopes wherever you listen to music. Also, Buzz Myers. I've been in a band with Andy since I was in high school. And we are in a band now called Buzz Myers. We used to be in Sluts together. And you know what we did in that band? We wrote original music. Can you believe it? Mayberry 007, $10. Snap for Lila Fund.
Yeah. $10.
Does Lila need a fund?
No.
Okay, good. Got nervous for a second. When I did Drew's show, Lila spent most of it in my lap.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Tucker, $5. Drew gets my money for the Ram shirt.
Great album.
Fantastic album.
You guys listen to it at all?
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And, you know, I love all the stuff that the Beatles did. And then like when they went their separate ways, it gets weird, but then you go back and revisit it years later and you go, oh no, this is actually fantastic.
Well, it was so compared to the Beatles that it was hard for people to appreciate it. But I always found with John, Paul, George, especially from 70 to really to almost 80, there were at least a couple great songs on every album. I mean, you can almost pick out the Beatles album from the great tracks.
Agreed. Candace coming in with $2 says, will SJ be third mic for Bob and Vince show Tuesday? He's been asking to do that. What do you know about that, Zen? The Bob and Vince show?
Oh, I think it's a whole lot of malarkey, but you never know with Bob. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's always wheeling and dealing. He could be, you know, he'll be like, oh, let's do an afternoon show today, and then all of a sudden he's doing his morning show. But I don't know. You know, Godspeed. You know, who knows? It might be a great show.
All right. So you feel the same way about it than I do. Joe Dicker says Christine Knowlton is a better guitar player than John, better songwriter too. Now those are fighting words. If I was John watching this right now, I'd be very upset with you, Joe Dicker. Joe Osbold, $5 says, I'm the dude that gave Carl the Stuttering John CD at the live show. Skull. Also, I don't know how to use a fake name, Skull. Well, thank you very much. I've been given this many times, actually.
Yeah.
I think one of them is autographed. Not this one, but anyway. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the gifts. I always appreciate the gifts that we got on this show. Phil Up J. Russo, 4216 SJ, was an unbridled song drive in Sun City. Is this Vince the lawyer or something? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I mean you probably had about 15 super chats from Vince since you started the show. If you see like a $1.99 or a $2, it's probably Vince. Yeah.
Well,
except for
usually it
Fucker
mentions
Arter, she's good people.
Yeah. Fucker Arter rules. $2. Hello, Sexy Zen and Frosted Tips Man. Hello. Stuttering John. Wow, another lame show about me. Great job, Snaggle. Thanks, John. Oh, $2, John, is all you could give me. I thought you were a millionaire. The Greater Good, $2 says, front to back, Play Surf Music is a legit album. Thank you very much. That is the Isotopes. I appreciate it. Oh, this is Mike Morris's ex-wife, which I'm guessing is Vince the Lawyer. Zed, please tell Frog to unblock me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just it's a savage world we're living in, guys.
It's fun. Dang Lizard, €2. Don't know what to think of Drew Face John. Oh, look at that.
What?
Can you see that?
What?
you put your face on Stuttering John. That might actually
look, before you go, dude, I do have to get out of here. I got to go do a gig. But thank you for having me, man. Thank you. Drew, it was awesome fucking meeting you. Really appreciate you.
Fun, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. Check out the BS show, Shuli Network. But until then, we'll see you guys soon.
Hey, real quick, what's the BS show schedule right now? When are you guys on?
I don't know. We don't know. Mornings probably. We're probably going to keep doing the mornings for a little bit until everyone changes their.
Subscribe to the Shuli Network. Hit the notification button. You'll know when they're on. And where can you find the live shows?
You can find them on youtube.com/the Shuli Network.
Oh, I meant tickets to go see you guys live.
Oh, BS show, the BSShowLive.com.
BSShowLive.com. Awesome. Thanks, Zan.
BSShowLive.com. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Great to talk to you, buddy.
Funny dude.
You do a great Trump.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Really good Trump voice.
I'm glad that he was able to join us today. And I'll say right now, because we are creeping up on 6 o'clock, we got super chats to get through, so I'm going to be hanging out. But Drew, I do not want to keep you here. If you need to go, just let me know anytime.
Well, I want to know if I have to defend against any super chats like that last one.
All right, good. All right, let's get into it.
Deep faked all over the place.
You ever been deep faked before?
No,
Drew, is that your first?
oh no.
That's a big
I
deal.
do AI music now.
They don't deep fake nobody.
People are taking my voice and putting it on Rapper's Delight and
Yeah.
Humpty Dance and stuff. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. So Drew is getting these songs coming out. And it's funny because, like, especially when you guys were playing the Rapper's Delight.
Yeah.
So it's Drew's voice rapping it. But then Drew can't help it. He gets into it. So he starts rapping on top of himself on the show. It's pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
I think there's some potential there. I never realized it
I
before.
think so, too. I'll go see that live.
You and Ben Shapiro should team
Yes.
up.
Right. Open for Corey Feldman. Drive Unbridled Song, 4216, $2. Carl, any chance live show in Sun City Center, Florida? Billy, $2 says Stuttering John has a 45-minute live concert in Yet. All right.
In him yet, maybe?
Maybe, or maybe there's something online somewhere I can find. Brian coming in, Brian V, $5 says, between that line in his forehead and the arm going up, he's starting to look like a slot machine. That's good. I like it. Ryan A, $2. Ask Conan for Smoke Machine for wind in his hair.
Oh,
I mean, I couldn't even see the fretboard. What's I supposed to do? Dang Lizard 5 says, going by John's reaction, he definitely didn't play the guitar. When someone hits a nerve, he gets defensive, laughs at it, attacks people's intelligence. Yes. Dang Lizard, I 100% agree, which is why it's now my mission to break down John's music career and figure out if he was actually playing guitar on his album, because I don't think he was. 71 Madcat, $5. Drew blows. That funny because I never heard of Drew and Mike. A lot of your listeners here, Drew. I appreciate that.
good.
Thanks for promoting this. Joseph Silva, $10 says, rehearsed at the same studio as SJ called L.I. Rocks. His band was awful back then, and he thought he was the next Eddie Van Halen. We used to goof on him, and he would threaten to beat us up. He was 10 years older than us. That's, I want that to be true. I hope that's true. That's hilarious. Bird Kreischer, $5 says, maybe he owns 2 computers. He's crystal clear in Florida, not so much in California. The new one doesn't have the years of snot and spit blurring the camera. Fuck Vince the lawyer. I have to say, when John got his new computer, he was in 1080 HD.
Yeah.
And you got to see everything that's going on. And he must have done something because people were goofing on him. He must have gone in and downgraded the video quality.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same. Like, if those sneezes and drools that we watched at the beginning, if we had those in 1080, we'd still be talking about it. Still be replaying those. Let me do my John impression. Nasty Al, my man. $50. Thank you so much, Nasty Al. Zen and Drew, nice additions. I can't get enough of Sutjo's stupidity, and it's costing me money. Cheers, boys. Cheers to you, Al. Thank you so much for everything you do for these shows and for that super chat. Oh my gosh, you guys, I might retire after this one.
Nasty Al, $49. Wow.
Look at this. Wasabista with 1,000 yen. Oh, wait, that's nothing. I call the Rochester cops. You're all in trouble. Don't say you weren't warned. No shit.
What's 1,000 yen worth?
$5 maybe. I don't know. Have to look it up. Moonhead, $5. Heard Suzanne's might be trying to serve SJ. Is that next knock beer from Vince or a process server? Skull. That's funny. Yeah, watch out, John. Next time someone knocks at your door. James Quinn, $2. Zen is punching his ticket to stardom. Yes, he is. Got to hang with us today. Jacob Ryan asked $2. Address the fact that you stole from Vince, you hack. All right, Vince. I don't watch your show. I don't steal from you. John's Ruddy Whip Can. This guy's a big celebrity in my world. $5 says, huge Drew Lane fan. I experienced 9/11 listening to Drew and got introduced to the Dabbleverse via Carl coming onto the Drew Lane show. No shit.
All right.
That's funny because John was trying to figure out who John's Ready Whip Can is on his show this week. And he goes, I know who this is. It's Ryan Shawman. And I was like, I see Ryan Sharman in the chat, though. I don't think that's Ryan Sharman, John. But he was all proud of himself and convinced he had it right. Obviously not. Hey, here's another Detroiter. South Weekly coming in with $2. All Drew talks about is Stuttering John. I've heard that complaint.
Yeah, it's a running joke on the show. All I talk about is The Bachelor because we talked about The Bachelor one day, actually a few days. So yeah,
times.
There you go.
Or all you talk about is Andy Dick.
Yes, we had him on quite a few times. So we've brought it up a lot.
Troy Smith, $5. Hey kids, FSJ, FKB. So great to finally see Drew on Point, Dabblepoint. Love you guys. No Diddy. Thank you, Troy Smith, who is another Detroiter, comes to the live shows, does all the amazing artwork for us, including that awesome portrait of Stuttering John behind me.
And that avatar is awesome.
Yes.
He's really good. Really good.
Fantastic stuff. He's done some Drew and Mike stuff too, where you guys are Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
That's
Unbelievable.
Giraffe Shaft, $2. Drew, this isn't a sports podcast.
I'll try to keep it straight.
Edgar, $2. Drew beat Howard like SJ beat Shaq. No, a little different. A little different than that. Detroit Dabbler, $2. Drew is a legend. Love seeing you on this show. I love seeing him on this show too. Thank you, Detroit.
Thank
Dabbler.
you.
I don't know how to pronounce that one, but $2. Can we go back to Tony Michaels? Yeah, we should go back to Tony Michaels.
Tony Michael.
I still have the other thing that Troy Smith made for us. No sauce for my nuggies, please. He didn't like any condiments on his fast food. SB $2 says, shut up, Giraffe Shaft. Drew is the best. And then Giraffe Shaft says, Brandon mic'd up Drew's bathroom for this show.
Yeah, I'll go right now.
Grandma Zaccardi, $2. Alisa Jordana, boyfriend deserves Nobel Peace Prize. Yes. He really was restrained for most of that.
He never got arrested, did he?
I don't think so. If he did, it was not reported on.
I kind of honestly thought they would both be arrested.
Of course, he should have been arrested.
But I side with him, but I thought he'd get arrested anyway. I mean, she was begging him to hit her back.
Yes, she had it coming. I hate to say that, but she wanted that to happen so bad. It was funny. We were talking about that on WTP, and Anthony Cumia had an incident with a young lady, and Missy B, Anthony's girlfriend, was just like, yeah, this is a sociopath, just like Danny, the girl that Anthony was dating. Like, some women just push every button they can until they get that reaction.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Right.
Fuck around and find out.
Missy B's good on the show, by the way.
Yeah, I love Missy B on the show. We might be developing something. I had a conversation with her yesterday.
Oh,
she's great.
Cool.
Jay Wolfenstein, $5 says, Zen, your drummer story was almost perfect. You just forgot the Long Island accent. 20 minutes of uhs and the stutter. Sorry, Zen was not here for that. I apologize. We're getting caught up. Just Spanger, $2. Good to see Drew unretired from public life again. Very impressive, Drew. Craig C. back is $5. Drew likes to dabble in the Dabbleverse when he's not cobbling in his basement.
Yeah. Steve Dahl's wife said to Bruce Wolf, who worked in Chicago radio, he was talking about, I was talking to Drew about his podcast and it seemed like they're doing great. And she said, if you want to cobble something together in your basement like Drew and Mike, then, by all means.
That's funny.
That's lived in infamy.
I love it. Naturally negative $10 says, Stuttering John needs to believe you're all criminals like him so he can feel morally justified. I imagine even he has to know that, Your Honor, I got her consent the night before, won't fly in court. That's a great point. John tells this story. He's told it multiple times, which is crazy, where he goes, sometimes I wake up really horny. So what I do is the night before, when I'm shagging my chick, I just say, hey, is it cool if we shag in the morning before you wake up, just to make sure I get her consent on it?
Oh, so she can't say no in the morning.
So apparently, when she's drunk the night before in his bed, he's like, I'm going to take this opportunity to let her know that I will be putting it in her before she's ready for it. The next morning, he's like, well, I don't think that's legal in any single way, John, but
I don't think so.
Gross. Ryan A. $2 says, Carla's favorite Beatles song, I Am the Walrus, Scola. It's actually You Never Give Me Your Money. It's my favorite Beatles song.
I love that song.
Oh, it's fantastic. Brad Parker, $2. Drew blows.
Thank you, Brad.
JJ Shearer Jr., $5 says, Andy needs a bigger role. He is funny as shit, yo.
Oh, thank you.
Well, check out Andy on the All Apologies podcast, allapologiespodcast.com.
That's right.
Him and Joey Sixpack over there. John Sealing of Lies, $5. Happy to see Drew in the Dabbleverse. Got into SJ through WTP/Drew and Mike segments. That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who have gotten into Stuttering John. That's awesome. Like Detroit is this crazy hub of people who are into the Dabbleverse. I love it. I appreciate it, Drew.
I knew they would.
Simon343, $5 says, the Drew Lane Show is a great show along with All Apologies and the Creep Off.
Oh,
This guy gets it.
nice.
Right.
But I mean, you forgot who are these socials, but no, you're pretty spot on with that. It's pretty good.
Time is a man.
Troy Smith, thanks for the ball washing. I was just ball washing Troy Smith. You're right.
Hey, did you have woke dad on Who Are These Socials last night?
Not last night, no.
Oh,
I know every time we don't have him on the show, Drew's mad at me.
Yeah.
I know.
I need Daniel Alexander on every episode.
I thought I missed
Solar was on though.
Yeah, Solar was good.
Was John Sarasani on?
No John Sarasani last night.
That's
No.
another one I love.
Me too.
So,
He's incredible.
are there other people trolling John Sarasani?
Well, he gets those trolls that he addresses on his show. But I
Okay.
don't think other shows are. Not that I've seen. Anyway, I'm
He's,
not sure.
I wish he would address you.
But Drew, so you haven't seen WATS yet. I took your advice and we checked out Instagram.com/gassypeople.
oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we watched some of those videos, including Will the Farter, who I know from the Howard Stern show, who's now has his own TikTok and he's making phone calls to restaurants. And
Yeah.
farting on demand.
When he's calling people and they're like, hello, hello. And then I know it's so stupid, but I always
It's so stupid, but it's great. I love it. And then Joseph Silva coming in. That story is true. Talking about the ball washing, or what specifically are we talking about? I'm not sure. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. You are hosting the Drew Lane podcast.
Yes.
Drew Lane show.
Yeah.
I'm still new to me. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
It's weird to me too, really weird. But yes, indeed. And we'll be back with a new show Sunday. And of course, the YouTube channel and Twitter is the Drew Lane Show too. Facebook, all that stuff. All that.
Wait, you changed your Twitter name?
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
Well, I guess kind of had to. It wasn't really up to me
That's
entirely.
awesome. But Drew does a show 4 days a week now. He's getting lazy. But he's realizing everyone else is going 4 days a week, so he's like, all right, I'll do that too. But
I can enter the Dabbleverse.
well, what I appreciate that, but what I love about your show is that you guys record it in the evening, and then it's available in the morning time for your morning commute, for your morning show as you're getting ready for work. They get you caught up on everything that's happening. So the Drew Lane Show is definitely worth a subscribe wherever you get podcasts.
Amen.
Thanks, Drew.
And I'm going to check out some All Apologies tonight, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did a two-parter about Dan Snyder and Brian Robbins. We Joe Sixpack really called out the head of Paramount and Nickelodeon. He's just like, Dan Snyder wouldn't be able to get away with all this shit if it wasn't for that guy facilitating it. They were both on head of the class together.
Right.
And then,
Don't you think that Dan Snyder, though, is getting beat up more than he deserves in some ways?
yeah,
I mean, there were some actual pedophiles working in Nickelodeon.
the doc is very lopsided when
yeah,
it comes
they're
to
like, oh, can you believe she poured water on her face? You're
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Meanwhile, Drake Bell is getting
Yeah.
fucking turned into a corn dog.
Right.
It's like,
anyway, sorry, not to derail you. Keep your
yeah.
plug going.
No. I mean, I mentioned earlier we did King Cobra JFS. If you know anything about WATS, that guy's a laughing stock.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun too. So, yeah, please check out allapologiespodcast.com.
I got some time. Do you have a favorite apology show? Subject?
Yeah, who was the best celebrity apology that you've covered?
Oh well, I mean, the best apology of the year of last year was Taryn Manning apologizing for licking a married man's asshole.
that
That's
was so
Yeah,
good.
we've seen that.
yeah, but we haven't really covered that one. I have it on deck for like a bonus
Oh, you haven't done
thing.
it. Wait, Drew's asking you which show to check out. Which episode of yours? And he's-
King Cobra, the newest one.
Okay, very good.
It's only getting better.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Drew.
Drew, thanks, buddy. Great to see you, man. I guess he's gone.
Yeah.
Jay Wolfenstein, $5 says, is Zen gone? Carl, it's true. I'm locked in Shuey's basement, forced to pretend to be 600 viewers to earn food. Send help. They're all crazy at TSN. Oh, no, that's terrible. Janet, the Evil Lawyer, became a new member. Thank you, Janet, the Evil Lawyer. And thank all of you for tuning in. We had a great number of viewers today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know we did things a little differently than we normally do. We decided to go ahead and pull some clips. I didn't get to all of them. Probably do it tomorrow on Who Are These Podcasts. Doug from Good Times, Great Movies will be joining us. And of course, I have to plug
guest.
Hackamania.
Yes.
Come out to Las Vegas. We'll be doing live podcasts. The Creep Off is there. Tukey Soup. Who Are These Podcasts? Nobody Likes Onions. Ray DeVito, a bunch of other shows are going to be there, plus comics. It's a whole weekend event with all these different shows, all these different things to go to. We just changed venues into a really cool new rock club that's going to be a bigger venue for us. So you're going to want to get out, hackamania.com, promo code WATP, get 20% off the price of the ticket for Hackamania. Janet the Evil Lawyer, remember, for 5 months. No, I didn't. My card expired and I just renewed it. I believe I've heard there's somewhere before. John. Thank you, Janet the Evil Lawyer. Thank you for being a member for 5 months. We very much appreciate that. All right, Andy, what do you think?
I think we killed it.
I think
I was
we did
very
it.
delighted. I didn't know it was going to be Drew and Zen.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was.
That was a good lineup
show.
today. Not that it's not a good lineup other days. It's been not a good lineup other days.
Yeah.
But this was a really good lineup today. And I appreciate those guys for making the time for us. Much appreciated. Bye, everybody. Whoarethese.com.
Point Dabblepoint. A Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.